Showers and thunderstorms Friday, 83. Still showers and thunderstorms around Friday night and into Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
5 minutes after the hour now. Good morning. Thanks for starting your day with us. 68 degrees the temperature here downtown. You can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you wherever you go. Listen to us from anywhere on our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, we made it to Thursday, and we're happy you're with us here on the Marc Cox Morning Show. It's suddenly dark over here in my corner of the world. I don't know why. People are adjusting my camera. Don't know what's going on. Hope you're having a good Thursday morning. A nice start to the day. A little humid out there. You can feel it.
Yeah.
My windows were steamed up this morning.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Not mine. Didn't notice that on mine.
Well, that's because my air comfort service system keeps it so cold in the house that. There's a big contrast there, so that's probably it.
It feels good compared to what it could be. So I'm trying to remember these days where we're starting out in the 60s because I think you brought this up yesterday. We'll probably be complaining come late July or August. It's so hot.
Of course we will. I will. I'll be complaining next week when it's in the mid-90s with the humidity that will stifle you. I'll be the first one to be whining about that. I'll just have to warn you now. So just get ready for it. I guess we're going to have some rain later today, looks like.
Yeah, they're talking about, flash flooding potential?
Into Friday. That ought to be fun. But we've had a good run, man. Yesterday was pretty nice, and hopefully people got to take advantage of it because we know what's coming. It will be on hell's front porch here before long.
Will they have some rain for Pride Fest? Because heads up, if you're coming downtown, you will likely run into road closures.
I just got to tell you, I forgot all about that this morning. And if you drive downtown, Pride Fest will also be a pain in your butt because when you get off the interstate, a big chunk of streets are blocked off. And here's my question, okay? They used to do this for the Fair St. Louis occasionally. And why did they have to start on Wednesday for an event that's not until Saturday?
I wondered the same thing. And I understand having to start maybe Thursday, definitely Friday. I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
Wednesday? Wednesday
not
morning,
sure.
by the time we left at 9:30 or whatever it was, 10 o'clock at the latest, the streets were already blocked.
What if we're going to take that much trouble and time to block off parts of downtown St. Louis, we should be doing it for the 250th anniversary of this country, not Pride Month, dedicated to your sexual preference. I'm sorry. That just kind of chaps me a little bit, so to speak. But regardless, just be warned, if you're coming downtown, you are going to face some pretty major street blockages here for through the weekend. It may just be great idea to just avoid it if you can do that at all. So I'm just saying that's kind of where we are on that. By the way, Kim, I left here yesterday, and the folks over at Y98 had somebody in there making pancakes, and the thing about it is I didn't get a pancake, which I was not happy about. But they told me that they had somebody in there who was a pancake artist. Have you ever heard of that before?
No, but I watched this guy's videos after you told me that he was over there.
Dan Cakes is what it's called, I think.
Yeah.
And they can do just about anything with a pancake, I guess. So I come in this morning, and this is on my desk. I'm going to try to hold this up for the Window World webcam, Simply the Best for Less. That's a pancake. On which they put the 97.1 logo. Brett Mega told me he was going to do that. And then I come in this morning, and unfortunately it's cold and stale, and I can't eat it. but it does look pretty cool.
If you put enough syrup on that, it wouldn't matter.
Heat it up, put enough syrup on it, nobody will know.
You know, this guy does faces too.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's stunning because it's just a griddle. And so if you think about how quickly a pancake is cooking, you have you have like a max a minute or something to get this done so that it's cooking evenly. So it's really interesting watching these videos and seeing them do all this artwork. And it doesn't look like much until they flip it over, and it's pretty impressive what they've been able to do with the pancake.
And what I just need to correct you there for a moment because you're being sexist. You said this guy.
Well, there are women
too. The person
too.
I saw doing it was a female artist who was in there working the grill.
I did see women doing it too.
Just saying.
That's true.
That is exactly what I saw yesterday. So we'll I don't think I'm going to be able to eat that pancake as hungry as I normally am at this hour. I don't think that's going to work. But we'll see what happens. All right, we got lots to get to today. I don't know if you've noticed this or not. I did, because my radio never leaves 97.1. If I'm in the car, station is what I'm listening to, right? Because I've said this many, many times. Not just because I work here. I'm a P1 to this radio station who just happens to have a show on it. So that's kind of how lucky my world is, right? That's kind of how I operate. I just about drove off the road yesterday when I heard that we're airing yet another lie, this time about the tax amendment, Amendment 5. Now got some good old boy on there that hired an actor that sounds like he's got an accent like he's a good old outstate boy who's a Republican, and don't let him fool you, but boy, our big rich backers are sure going to be happy when we defeat this tax amendment. Acting once again hired actors to lie to you as conservatives, as Republicans, and lead you to believe that paying less tax is a bad thing for you.
Who's behind this one? Do you know?
Well, it's the Missouri Realtors Association.
So it's the same group.
It's a different name at the end of the commercial, but it all goes back to the same people. They put $2 million into the ad campaign against Amendment 4. They've now put another $2 million into the ad campaign against Amendment 5. Who are these people? If they're not radical left activists, you tell me who they are. Mm-hmm. And they run the Missouri Realtors Association. And now they're running ads targeting conservative voters because they're not running these ads on NPR, just so you know. They're not running these ads on to a center-left audience. They're running these ads that are specifically designed to fool you. And I'm sick of it. So later today on this show, we're going to get Senator Nick Schroer on here to talk about Amendment 5. And we've also got Andy Bakker on here, who's a spokesman for Protect Missouri Voters, to talk about Amendment 4. That's the IP reform bill. But I'm a hard yes on both of these because it's common sense legislation. Here at the end of let's just put it this way, and then we'll talk about this more later in the show. If you represent a family of 4, for example, and your combined income as a family is $100,000, if this bill passes, you will have $5,000 more in your pocket next year than you had this year. That's a $5,000 raise. Now, their argument is, well, they're just going to raise the sales taxes, so you'll end up spending that on other things. Do you really believe that? Like, are your spending habits going to change that much? Or, and this will be controversial, is it just a matter of the fact that instead of the producers, the people who work for a living 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week to provide for their families, they now get to share the cost of government with everybody else, right? So they are going to spread that burden out a little bit. So it's not just you who gets penalized for producing in this society. If you get a $5,000 bonus next year, you're not necessarily going to go out and buy $5,000 more of, stuff at the shopping mall in Chesterfield or Crestwood or Richmond Heights or wherever. You're not necessarily going to buy that much more stuff where you would be, because of taxes, you would eat up an extra $5,000. That's not going to happen. That's money back in your pocket. What they're doing is lying to you. And I'm going to point this out every single day between now and the election 5 weeks from now. It's garbage. It's a scare tactic. There are guidelines in place to transition slowly from income tax to sales tax and other use taxes. That's true. Because you get to decide how you spend your money. You don't get to decide on April 15th every year how much money the state of Missouri takes out of your wallet. So while it's not an immediate $5,000, because this would be gradually changed over about 5 or 10 years, at the end of the day, you get to keep more of your money and you get to decide how to spend it. That's what Amendment 5 is about. We're going to get Nick Schroer on, the Missouri senator, to talk about this today in the 8 o'clock hour. So we will discuss these issues, and we are going to counter these lying ads that they're spending millions of dollars to lie to you about. Why do they have to lie to you? I argued that on the gambling, the sports gambling. I didn't have anything personal against sports gambling, but I hate that you lied to me to tell people, well, mothers, you better go vote for this, because if you do, there'll be $100 million extra dollars for schools. It was a lie. It's still a lie, but they got what they wanted, and they spent money on ads lying to you about it. Follow the money. Somebody benefits from defeating this. Who is it? I don't know. Who is it? Is it the Missouri Realtors Association? What are they after here? So we'll continue to talk about it. I'll get off my my soapbox here, but that chapped me worse than the roads being blocked this morning when I came in.
I did not heard that ad, but the way that they're phrasing these, I can see why there's a lot of confusion.
I bet you'll hear it during the show this morning, and I apologize to you for that. But I do not have that individual power to reach in there and turn that commercial off, or I would. I'll just have to tell you that. All right, coming up, we'll get to our top stories after the break. I've gone a little long here as I've been trying to explain this Amendment 5 thing and my frustration over the lies they're telling you about it. And we'll get to that when we come back. Let's get to our national anthem, please.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. We look good on the roads. Now, there's a little bit of volume still showing up on eastbound 70, east of Wright City. That would be due to road work. But other than that, we are fine. We've got light traffic out there in general, and that's both on the Missouri and Illinois sides. So if you are headed out at this hour, things really should be fine. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, who was I just bragging about at the top of the show here? That would have been the fact that It was so cold in my house this morning, actually very comfortable in my house this morning. 70, I only had the air conditioner set at 73. When I got up, there was a fog on my windows because of the humidity outside. That's what I love about this new system we got from Air Comfort Service. Corey Malone and the folks came over and installed this for us. I guess it'll be 2 years this fall, and it's great, right? It takes the humidity out of the air. It's efficient. It keeps the house cool, even when we had lots of people in there for a grad party. And I couldn't be happier. Plus the furnace, I got the air pump, or the heat pump, I should say, that cuts down on your gas bill. Just overall a great experience. You're going to have the same experience whether you're buying something or you just need service, because they do that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call them up, 314-513-0091. That's the number you should have in your phone just in case when it gets to be 95 next week, your air conditioner goes on the fritz. Call Air Comfort Service, 314-513-0091 or aircomfortservice.com.
Here's a World Soccer Championship preview.
Brought to you by Lowe's. Members get more at Lowe's. And by the first ever Infinity QX65. The United States has already won Group D, but still has to get through 90 minutes against Turkey before starting knockout play. The USA is coming off back-to-back wins at a World Cup for the first time since 1930. Turkey is already eliminated and has been one of the tournament's biggest disappointments. I'm Mike Conti.
Today, the Cards, the D-backs.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:45.
Play ball!
Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
The time is 5:22, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
I think it's now our time to push for a bold agenda, Medicare for all, end this ceaseless militarism overseas, start spending this money on ourselves.
Yeah, this is Hassan Piker. Just so you know, this is one of the this guy didn't get elected to Congress, but he's one of the Democratic Socialist Jew-hating podcasters in America who's been going around and campaigning for them. This is what they're after. This is their agenda, and Hakeem Jeffries now owns it.
I think they're scared of the term in this country, but Social Security is a democratic socialism. Partly unemployment insurance is. The people who pick up your garbage, the people who take the fire out at your house, all of these things are democratic socialism.
The people who take the what out at your house?
Did you say fire?
The fire out of... what are you talking about? What is she talking? Social Security is... it's a form of socialism. I agree. It was designed to be a temporary safety net during the Depression that somehow became everlasting. That's why it's a pyramid scheme. That's beside the point. But it's not democratic socialism.
He is in trouble. And instead of changing his policies, instead of doing what the American people need and want, he's off saying, I'm going to keep a bunch of them from voting. And that's what he's thrown down on. This is Donald Trump trying to subvert democracy.
Hey, Lizzie Warren, 85 or 90% of Americans support showing an ID and proving you're a citizen to vote. What in the hell are you talking about?
There has never been anything like the United States of America, and together we are making it bigger and better and stronger and far more exceptional than ever before.
Amen. The president talking yesterday at part of the 250th celebration there in Washington. And, yesterday, I guess because she was doing the media tour, and Kim and I have talked about the possibility of maybe trying to get her on the show here. Rush Limbaugh's widow, Catherine, was doing interviews regarding some books or something they're releasing as part of the Limbaugh estate. But the books focus on the greatness of America. And one thing that Kilme did yesterday, if you were listening to his program after this, or if you saw any of those interviews that she did, they played clips from Rush Limbaugh. Mm-hmm. And among other things, they talked about how even when he was sick and he was being treated for what he knew was going to be a terminal illness, what kept him alive as long as he did stay alive was his desire to get back on the radio and talk to the American people. Because way back in the 90s, early 90s, far before it was fashionable, when Limbaugh had his TV show and sold his ties, I've still got a couple of those somewhere, he was somebody who was unabashedly proud of the United States of America. And he talked about it, the people make reference to Ronald Reagan's Shining City on a Hill speech. And I think about the impact Limbaugh had on me and so many other millions of people who listened to him over the years. And if there's any legacy connected to that for anybody who's still in this business, shame on them for not preaching the same thing over and over again. And I always have. And you can't get away from it. I heard that one of the idiots on The View say yesterday that July 4th is not for black people, that black people don't celebrate July 4th. Are you kidding me? I don't care what your personal issue might be with something that what happened in this country that nobody that I know of today is proud of, and that was slavery. But it's something this country overcame. This country was founded as an idea of a place where your opportunities were limitless. And it's evolved over 250 years, and it's still the greatest country on earth. People are dying to get here. If you're born in America, you are born with the golden ticket. Little Charlie in the chocolate factory got the golden ticket, one of 5 or 6 people, except when you're born in America, everybody has one. Except there is one party in this country that'll try to convince you don't have a chance because Orange Man bad. I mean, seriously, they are defeatists. They hate this country. They don't want you to succeed. Stop. Look at at what the founders handed us. It was a gift that we need to be celebrating 250 years later. We'll be back in just a minute.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Bringing a data center online takes more than equipment. It takes precision. Graybar helps customers predict, stage, schedule, deliver, and verify every step of the build with critical products that are available now. From networking and wireless to critical power and testing tools, our teams help you reduce downtime risk and keep projects on track. Speed, Scale. Ready now. Yep. Graybar does that.
Looking for a smarter, safer way to invest? For a limited time, lock in a great rate with Together Credit Union's 11-month CD special. From day one, your return on investment is guaranteed. No market swings, no surprises. Just a competitive, fixed rate that steadily grows your deposit. Make your money work harder with a financial partner that puts you first. Visit a Together Credit Union branch near you or go online to togethercu.org to learn more. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Today, we'll find out where prices landed last month. The PCE price index, the inflation update for May, is expected to see an increase from April. Dan Geltrude, CPA and market analyst, expects prices to moderate as crude oil prices move down from recent highs.
I know that Bank of America had come out with the possibility of 3 interest rate hikes coming up over the next year. I can't imagine that's going to be the case because I think when you look at what's happening with crude and now we're more in a range of 70 to 75, that's good news because it should drive inflation down.
Also today, Olive Garden's parent company, Darden Restaurants, reports earnings, and McCormick, the spice maker. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jim Coselda. Invested in you.
So Ryan and I came to the decision to get life insurance when I was pregnant with our first son. He really wanted us to be taken care of if something happened to him. He provided for our family in life and also after his death. I think that would make him proud. Ethos makes it fast and easy to get life insurance. Apply in minutes and get same-day coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
A little bit of volume right now on westbound 70 west of Z. That mainly due to road work. And that's about it. Well, eastbound 70 east of Warrenton has a slow pocket or two. But it's all road work, and that's it at this hour. 55 looks good, no delays on eastbound 64 from out west into downtown. And we look good on the Illinois side as well. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, I want you to meet your new favorite roofing company. Is that a thing? Like, do you have a favorite roofing company? You will after you use my friends at Corel. You hear me talk a lot about Corel. Do you need a whole new roof? How do you know if it's not just that you need some of the flashing fixed around the chimney or something like that? So when somebody gets on your roof, you have to be able to have that knowledge that they're being honest with you. They're telling you the truth about what they've seen when they've been up there, and they're not just trying to get a quick roofing job out of you. That's what I appreciate about Corel. I know Curtis personally. I've known him for a long time. I know what kind of person he is, and I know that he's going to be honest with you. He found damage on my roof. I got a new roof, made an insurance claim. He went to my daughter's house 2 miles away, same storm. He did not find damage that was going to lead to her getting an insurance claim or a new roof. He's going to be honest with you about that. And there are lots of people knocking on your door who may not be. They're trying to sell you something. I would recommend you call Curtis. Maybe you've been turned down. He specializes in working with these insurance adjusters. If he thinks you deserve a new roof, he's going to fight for you. And I want you to give him a call today and tell him you heard Mark talking about this and you'd like him to come over and inspect your roof. 314-222-9529. That's 222-9529 or online anytime at CorelRoofingCo.com. Marc Cox here from my friends at Zero Res. Summer is finally here. It's time to take advantage of Zero Res's best deal of the summer. They can handle every surface in your home. The carpets, the tile and grout, the upholstery and rugs, your air ducts and more. And right now you need to reach out to them because, listen, vacuuming is not enough to maintain the cleanliness and the lifespan of your carpet. Go to Zero Res, 314-474-2020 and ask for the 97.1 special.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
2026 is a big year for America, and we'll be here with you, celebrating every step of the way. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk, sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Kim on a whim.
We hear about how mainstream media is the enemy, and there's so many reasons why you could say that. They just love to point out how terrible America is. Not even just pointing out, they're kind of making it up. They're exaggerating things, and they're always finding ways to negatively report on the Trump administration specifically. And clearly that's had an impact worldwide, because you keep hearing these stories about these people who are coming over for the World Cup, and they're dumbfounded by how amazing America is. And I feel like this is what we needed. In fact, the White House posted about this on X, saying, "We're back, baby." It took one summer to kind of flip the narrative, to show the world that America is great. There's so many reasons why people, as you've talked about, Mark, are dying to come over here. Let me play a clip. This is from one of the fans over here for the World Cup.
We owe America a huge apology, because America is nothing like what the media tells us. Everyone is so friendly, everyone is so accommodating, and I've honestly had the best time. I fly home Sunday, and the English have a song where we say, "Please don't take me home, I just don't want to go to work. Let me stay here and drink all your beer." And I've never resonated with that song more than in America for this World Cup. I wish I could stay and finish the tournament watching England. So if anyone is out there that can help me make this happen, then please let me know. I want nothing more than to stay in the USA, finish the World Cup, and meet more fantastic Americans.
I don't know if this guy had any money that was contributed to help him stay in the United States.
Did he have a GoFundMe?
I don't know, but I kind of hope he did. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we needed. This is helping unite people. I mean, obviously there's still a lot of polarization, but it's been really cool to see how many people are impressed with Walmart and Buc-ee's and just all these funny things. They're so excited that you get ice at restaurants and that you get free refills.
I got to tell you, Kim, I think this has been going on a lot longer than anybody knows, and it's just this is blowing it out of. It's blowing it up just because you're hearing from more people, because statistically there are more foreign visitors here right now because of the World Cup. But 20 years ago or longer, we have good friends who are first-generation Americans. Their parents moved here from Ireland. And they would tell me these stories that their loved ones would come to visit them for 2 weeks. And they loved America so much that they would bring an extra empty piece of luggage, because when they got here, they'd have to buy bigger pants to wear home, because every day all they wanted to do was go to Ponderosa and all these buffets where there's an endless supply of all this different great food. They have nothing like that at home. Mm-hmm. So a lot of foreigners had discovered that years ago, that America is a great place and a land of opportunity. And I think maybe this is just a bigger because of the World Cup. I think more people who haven't had reason to come here before are seeing that now.
It's a lot of these younger fans, too,
yes,
who are posting the videos on TikTok. And we know that TikTok is very influential. And so maybe that's why a lot of this is taking off right now. Did you see, I think it was TSA had to put some sort of a message out about ranch dressing, because so many foreigners
yes,
were trying to bring ranch dressing home because they don't have that there, which is funny. You think that that's something that's worldwide. It's not. And it sounds like even across the United States it's different. Like other parts of the country don't, for example, put ranch on pizza. We here in the Midwest like to put ranch on basically everything. And so ranch is supposedly, I guess it wouldn't be ranch, it'd be Hidden Valley's trying to come up with something where it's easier to transport it. Anyway, it's funny. It's really been cool to see some of these videos. But going back to this whole thing with the mainstream media, because certainly some foreigners would be reading these pieces. You point to, for example, it was an opinion piece that was published for the New York Times that was titled, "America is officially an empire in decline." You had the The Hill that featured an op-ed arguing that the American empire has entered its final act, describing a nation as exhausted, indebted, aging, and divided. The Atlantic, they had some article titled, America is sliding toward illiteracy. There's just countless examples of how the mainstream media has painted our country to be terrible and so divided and racist and all the different words that we are probably called as conservatives. They've described our wonderful country that way as well. And again, it's just thank you for posting some of these videos to show the world that there is so much awesomeness here in America, and we get to celebrate that with America 250. It's not just celebrating that we have, massive things of meat at Walmart, which apparently they're dumbfounded about, or ranch dressing or whatever. But there's just so much goodness here.
Haters gonna hate.
They see why people are wanting to come here.
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartly. In fact, we talked about it a little bit, and it's not just the media here; it's the media there. The Daily Mail. I was trying to think of the name of the organization. I reported on this a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if anybody happened to be listening that morning, but they reported on the fact that in Kansas City, there was concern for the safety of the World Cup teams that were going to be playing in Kansas City, because a shooting happened and 2 people were shot near the training facility in Kansas City 3 days before the team was scheduled to arrive to begin its practice. And then you dig into the story and you find out it was a drug-related shooting 4 miles away from where this training facility was. Had nothing to do with the facility or anything. It was a drug deal gone bad. And you've got an international organization like the Daily Mail trying to scare the hell out of everybody in Europe that you might fly to America to see a World Cup game and get shot. Mm-hmm. It's stupid things like that they do to damage the reputation of this country.
I saw some people were saying that they had come over here anticipating that ICE was basically going to be outside these venues and scooping people up, and it would just be mayhem. And they said that's been the complete opposite. In fact, many people were talking about how safe and clean it was. They were walking through parks and neighborhoods, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you can walk through here and not be robbed, and there's not just a bunch of trash everywhere, which is funny because I've been to Europe and I feel like it's been the opposite of that. It seems very clean there from what I remember. Maybe I'm wrong. It's been many, many years since I've been back.
I think it depends on where you are.
Sure. Well, just like here in the
It does.
In the
there's
States,
suburbs of Paris that are no-go zones. There are places in London where as a young woman, you could not walk through there if you didn't cover your head. You would get harassed or potentially assaulted.
Yeah.
Right now.
Well, I remember going to the Eiffel Tower many years ago, and I remember them telling us you had to wear your little money bag or whatever. You kind of hide everything under your clothes, and they said, heads up, this is kind of a hot zone for people pickpocketing you, so just be aware. That was just a known thing.
Yeah, and they warned us about that in Rome, in Italy when we went there in Rome. Mm-hmm. Never saw any of it. Never heard of it. Not one single incident the whole time we were there. I've been there multiple times now, and you just use common sense. Put your wallet in your front pocket. Don't hang your purse over the back where somebody could unzip it and steal stuff out of it, or your backpack. It's just common sense stuff you should probably do if you're going to Times Square in America, right? It's a major metropolitan area.
I want to say we were in Spain. This is, again, was it back in high school? I can't even remember. I have been to Europe a couple of times, and I'm mixing up the trips. But anyway, point being, I guess this would have been college. I was studying abroad in Brussels, Belgium, and we'd gone over to Barcelona. And I remember we were all on the train, and one of my friends was next to me with a backpack on, and I think he had like an iPad in there and some other stuff. But anyway, I remember watching this all go down, and maybe I've shared the story, but maybe a group of 4 or 5 people kind of got around him and were clearly intentionally bumping into him. So while they were kind of causing a ruckus and bumping into him, one of the other guys unzipped the backpack and stole a bunch of the stuff inside. So that's kind of their MO, is they cause a disturbance where you're focused on the fact that you're being pushed around and you're not very aware of the fact that people are quite literally reaching into your bag and stealing whatever you have. So, that could happen in New York City, I'm sure. And Zohran Mamdani, being a socialist, would probably say, well, technically we should all share everything. So you really should just give that up.
It should just be state property.
If they're poorer than you, you should be willing to give that up. You don't deserve that if you're rich. If you worked hard for it, who cares? Somebody else could use it more. They deserve it more. And now we have some of those people heading to Congress, very likely. Can't wait for that.
There are some incredible stories out this morning, particularly about one of those two ladies, a Chevalier, I think is her last name, and some of the things she had advocated for online in years past that are just now, for some reason, just now coming out. Now you have to wonder to yourself, would she get in a major general primary and these things not come up? Maybe to help her opponent. I don't know if there's a chance of a Republican or somebody else winning this. She one time called for the destruction of Western civilization.
That's nice.
And now she will be a sitting member of the United States Congress up in New York. And that's who the party is these days. Yeah, it's a good point, though. I'm glad you brought that up. I always love hearing those stories. I saw some interviews with some of the Scottish fans who drank all the beer in Boston about how much they loved their time in America.
Apparently, the Japanese are also loving Texas. That's been really funny to see some of the videos. Yeah.
That is funny. All right, coming up, we got so much stuff to try to report on for you this morning. We will get to that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. We've got the St. Louis Morning Brief. We got Tom Ackerman with these changes for the Cardinals coming up in the next hour as well. We'll be right back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Not bad on the roads this morning. If you are just headed out, for the most part, we look good. But there is road work going on 70. So westbound 70 is slowing west of Wentzville. And it's just a slow pocket headed for David Hochul Parkway. And it's all due to road work. But that's it. Other than that, we look good. We're quiet through North County. Looking good on northbound 55 and eastbound 64. Now, on the Illinois side, it's quiet as well. They've got so much road work going on over there. But at this hour, things look good. On the Missouri side, on 64 today in St. Charles County, 9 a.m. until 3 p.m., crews will have one lane closed eastbound between Prospect and 364. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, when that storm front moves through later, you're going to depend on your garage door to protect whatever's in your garage, classified documents, whatever you happen to be storing in there, and you need to make sure it's working properly. My friends at the Overhead Door Company, the original Overhead Door Company, they've been around for 100 years this year. 2026 marks 100 years in business. Think about that. 1926, they've been installing and repairing garage doors for that long. So there's a good chance maybe they've already fixed the garage door in your house at some point in the past. If not, it's the number you want to have right there in front of you for the next time something goes wrong, right? Because you'll be getting on Facebook or social media and saying, does anybody have somebody that could fix my garage door? Yeah, I got it. I got guys. They're at Overhead Door Company. 314-781-5200. That's 314-781-5200. Get on there. They can also come and do a 26-point tune-up on your garage doors. One low price. They'll do up to 3 doors and openers for that price. So reach out to them today. Tell them you heard Marc Cox bragging about them. They fixed my door in a hurry when the spring broke. You'll love working with them, too. You can schedule online right now at overheaddoorstlewis.com.
We're here to celebrate America's 250th birthday in 2026. This is 97.1 FM Talk. America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com And join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, Health from Within, STL.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
If you're feeding a person a crap sandwich with a smile, it's still a crap sandwich.
You know, we hear you. We see your comments here on Facebook, Kim, and others. I understand that some people are having a particularly difficult time getting on the Facebook feed for some reason. I have no explanation for it. I mean, it's working for us as we attach the live feed to Facebook. But some people are having trouble logging in the morning.
Well, I know what they're talking about, or at least I think I do, because it sounds like you try to click on the live Facebook feed to watch the show, and it keeps repeating. It's like a 5-second clip almost of the show, and it just goes on repeat. I have experienced that when I've been off and I've been trying to tune in. I can't explain why that's happening because, to your point, everything on our end appears to be working, so I'm not sure if it's some glitch with Facebook.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I wish there was something we could do. Meta is its own separate set of issues,
and there's no one you can reach out to that's a human there. That's the most annoying part.
Every time I've ever tried to appeal anything to them when they put us in Facebook jail, there's never a human being. There's no way to reach a human being at Facebook to complain about what's going on. You just can't do it. And what we've noticed here is a pretty sharp increase in the number of people watching us on the YouTube channel, which is fine. Obviously, we're on Rumble as well and X. We've discussed the possibility of maybe trying to put this up on a couple of other different social media outlets. But I wonder if that doesn't have something to do with it. People have had some trouble with Facebook. There's a pretty a good community of people who are on there daily, and maybe they're a little frustrated, and some of them have moved over to YouTube. I don't know. You can still get on the chat on YouTube. It's just annoying, and I apologize for it.
YouTube is like the new thing everyone's going to.
I guess. I don't know that it's new, but
it's like the hot thing. People are starting, it seems, to move over from Facebook. And
importantly, we're not banned on YouTube anymore because now you can say ivermectin without getting an immediate ban from the left.
Isn't that
the
crazy?
Left bots in this country.
It's crazy that was a thing, that you would go into Facebook jail or Twitter jail. Maybe that still could happen with certain trigger words, but
I'm sure it could.
It's better now, at least.
Hey, by the way, Kim, I thought you'd find this story interesting. And shout out, credit to the Gateway Pundit for drawing this to my attention, I just have to say. There is a survey report that shows if you consider yourself if somebody asks you, how do you identify politically? Strong conservative, moderate conservative, Republican, Democrat, strong Democrat. This was the scale that they gave people. And they asked people to place themselves on that scale. And then based on where you placed yourself on that scale, they ask you additional questions. Here's what the survey said. Survey report shows that 10 times as many strong GOP voters are sure of God than strong Democrat voters. And the number and the difference shouldn't be shocking to me, but I guess it's the gap that's shocking to me. This was here's what it said. 73% of young, white, non-Hispanic men and women who identify as strong Republicans never doubt that God exists, compared to only 7% of people who identify as strong Democrats.
It doesn't surprise me. It makes me sad.
It should make you sad.
The problem is a lot of the people who are liberal have they have the God of self. It's their own feelings, their whatever's convenient for them.
They pray at the altar of big government in many cases. There's no doubt about that. But you're right. I've said before, it's a very self-centered political point of view. The credit lines on the graph show the numbers from the General Social Survey. It's a project of the University of Chicago's NORC, which used to be the National Opinion Research Center. It's been compiling data on Americans and their attitudes since 1972. Again, while it may not be news that more Republicans than Democrats identify strongly as believers, it's still kind of shocking to the system. This goes on to say this is an opinion piece here in the Gateway Pundit, but it's talking about the fact that many of these people are simply atheists.
Yeah.
And they've given up on the system. They don't believe anybody. They don't believe in anything greater than government, and that's really it's really sad. But when you think about it, it goes a long way toward explaining why the Democrat Party, I think, is heading in the direction it's headed, because it used to not be that way. When my grandfather was a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, he was a union latherer. He worked union jobs his entire life. He thought Franklin Delano Roosevelt hung the moon. He did, and he was a believer, a strong believer in God. And where's that faith gone? I would ask, where's it gone?
There's been a lot of change within the Democratic Party, no doubt. When it comes to which party has changed, it's the Democratic Party. And unfortunately, the conservatives have just had to try to combat the craziness.
And they've done all they can to target people of faith, to punish them punitively over the years as well. All right, we're going to get to a quick break. I mentioned Tom Ackerman coming up. We're also going to get to former Congressman J.D. Hayworth is going to join us in the 7 o'clock hour. Griff Jenkins making an early appearance today at about 7:08 as well. We'll talk about all of that for you coming up.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
A collision with a semi-truck changes everything. The injuries, the trauma, the questions. They don't wait, and neither should you. At Kaufman Townsley, we understand how serious trucking accidents are, and we know how to fight for what you deserve. We're from St. Louis. We're in the courtroom when it counts, and we don't stop until justice is served. Kaufman Townsley. Real people, real results. Call 314-777-7777.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Meet Linda. She's stuck in traffic with hundreds of thoughts racing through her mind, like what she needs to pack for her family's vacation and what they still need from the store. But you know what she's not thinking about? Her HVAC system. Linda is a preferred partner with Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Members of our preferred partner plan get 2 HVAC system checks per year. We clean and inspect your AC and furnace at each visit. Partners also get priority service and exclusive discounts starting at just $19 per month. Life is chaos, but with Air Comfort Service, you'll have peace of mind with your HVAC system. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Missouri's laws are clear. Unregulated gaming devices are illegal. Companies have been telling businesses that gray market machines are legal. That's wrong. Don't be scammed. If you have these devices at your business, you could be subject to criminal and civil penalties. Unplug and remove these devices today.
If you've been approached to host illegal gaming machines, call now 800-523-1434 or visit ago.mo.gov. Sponsored by the Attorney General's Office.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
It's up to 164 dead in Venezuela's earthquake disaster. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. I should say at least. They expect to find more victims in collapsed and damaged homes and buildings after two quakes a minute apart. The first a magnitude 7.2, the next a 7.5.
Rescuers and first responders can be seen digging through the rubble, searching for survivors. People could be heard calling for help from the wreckage, according to reports. And buildings, of course, are without power, many reduced to rubble. Officials have completely closed the train and metro systems, and the international airport there has also been shut down after parts of the ceiling collapsed. Some posting chaotic footage to social media, capturing those terrified passengers scrambling to safety.
Fox's Chanley Painter. President Trump says the U.S. is ready, willing, and able to help. And Secretary of State Marco Rubio says search and rescue teams are being deployed along with medical and humanitarian aid. Rubio is now in the Middle East.
The Secretary of State's in Bahrain, home to the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet. He's been meeting foreign ministers from countries affected by the war with Iran. They're concerned about a potential peace deal being too soft on an Iranian regime which closed the Strait of Hormuz and fired missiles and drones at its neighbors.
We want a deal that's good, we want a deal that's real, we want a deal that's verifiable, and we want a deal that's adhered to.
Secretary Rubio promises Iran won't be allowed to charge tolls in the Strait of Hormuz.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Last night at a rally in the National Mall in Washington to kick off the Great American State Fair, the president said,
"For the first time in 3,000 years, we are finally going to have peace in the Middle East."
The Senate voted again on a war powers resolution, and unlike Tuesday, they rejected it. Two Republicans switched votes, including Bill Cassidy, after a heated exchange with the president at lunch.
He did not particularly care for my comments. Raised his voice. I lost my temper.
Cassidy's on his way out of the Senate. The president backed a Republican challenger in Louisiana. America's listening to Fox News.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay. Are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. 6:03 the time right now, starting out at 68 degrees. Here's what's making headlines on this Thursday, June 25th. In an emergency meeting Wednesday, the St. Louis County Council approved funding to keep the 23 nurses at the St. Louis County Jail. This comes less than a day after the Director of Justice Services warned police across the county they could no longer bring prisoners to the jail for medical attention because of the lack of funding. Councilman Mark Harder says this could have all been avoided had the health department just met with the council budget committee to request the extra funding like it's required. A St. Louis County fast food employee is being credited with stopping a man trying to rob the restaurant. The incident happened Monday morning around 11:45 at the KFC in the 2400 block of Highway 67. That's in Florissant. Police say Taymon Sleet walked up to the KFC manager with a gun and demanded he open the safe. Sleet then ran away after getting the money, but didn't get very far. According to investigators, one of the employees tackled him in the parking lot, disarming him while others called 911. St. Charles police will increase patrols today at a park where there's rumored to be a teen takeover. A social media post called for this teen takeover at Blanchette Park Aquatic Center from noon until 7, with plans to then move to the park itself. St. Charles police released a statement saying, in part, we encourage parents to assess this gathering carefully and be prepared to pick up their child should disruptive behavior begin or appear likely. In sports, Cardinals lost to the Diamondbacks yesterday, 9-4 the final, wrapping up the series tonight. 6:45 first pitch. As you might have expected, the big announcement from the Cards yesterday was that Bill DeWitt III will officially be taking over as the team's CEO. And finally, for any World Cup fans, Team USA plays Turkey tonight. It's a late start, 9 o'clock. 68 degrees now coming up on 6:05. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got light traffic at this hour, and things look great on the Missouri side and the Illinois side. Now, on the Illinois side, there is some volume eastbound 64 east of 157. But that's it. 44, of course, remains closed downtown between the Poplar Street Bridge and the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge, and will be closed through the weekend. All, of course, due to the sinkhole, and they're monitoring that situation. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. We'd like to congratulate Barron Mirror Glass and Door on their 50-year anniversary. You do not stay in business that long by not supplying quality products with outstanding service. The key is their experienced staff. Contact Barron Mirror Glass and Door today and let them show you why 50 years is just a start. I'm Sue Thomas with Traffic, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Unsettled weather, and the main features will be heavy downpours of rain at times and the possibility of some flash flooding. This is kind of a long-lasting rain event. A mix of clouds and sunshine today with scattered showers and thunderstorms, 86. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight, 69. Scattered showers and thunderstorms Friday, 83. Still showers and thunderstorms around Friday night and into Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This report brought to you by McKelvey Homes.
Dry right now here, 68 degrees the temperature, coming up 7 minutes after the hour. You can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you wherever you go. Listen to the show anytime on our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Welcome back on your Thursday morning. It's kind of humid out there, getting ready for whatever weather's rolling in here this afternoon, I imagine. Going to really heat up next week, I'm thinking. Just so you know, if you're coming downtown, the streets are a mess. They've got it all blocked off. The biggest problem were the HelloFresh trucks. They're parked all over downtown, and it's really hard to get around. The streets are all blocked off.
Well, they want to make sure that the festival goers are prepared.
I can't help myself. It's a mess. That festival, the Pride Festival, is happening all weekend. The tents are up and the gates are up. I guess I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're worried about, but they've got a reclamation project going on down, or is that it's a restoration project.
My gosh. See, sometimes I can't even tell if you're just intentionally saying reclamation or if you truly always think it's reclamation.
It's the answer to most problems in the city. You just fence it off, and act like there's not a problem.
We're doing some changes here. It'll take about 5 years.
The fences never come down in the city. Hey, by the way, yesterday we focused a lot on the fact that Sam Page was going to penalize every law enforcement agency in St. Louis County by not accepting any new prisoners to the jail, or if not prisoners, at least suspects into the county jail. because he was mad that county council wouldn't give him the money he wanted for some nurse's contract. And I guess they all panicked and passed that yesterday. Did I read that?
Yeah, and it sounds like they gave the health department $100,000 more than they had even initially asked for. Why? I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Of course you know.
Because Sam Page sucks?
It's never too early to learn that the government is a greedy piglet that suckles on a taxpayer's teat until they have sore, chapped nipples.
That's what it was all about, Kim, right there. They needed a raise. The minute the county council balked on it at all, Sam Page and company decided they're going to stick it to them, and they started rejecting prisoners from the jail, at which point, as former Chief Tim Fitch pointed out yesterday, it put the officers in the strange situation of deciding whether or not they were just going to arrest somebody or just let them go, because if not, they might have to go to a hospital emergency room and wait half the day to get the person seen to get a fit for confinement ruling on them before they could take him to the jail to get him put into jail.
It just sucks because
it worked.
Sam Page is being he's always been savage, but he's extra savage right now because he's a lame duck. He's not, his term ends in January, so he doesn't really care. I would normally say, let's just screw him and do things that make Sam Page look terrible and make it really difficult for him to be elected again, but he's not even doing that, so he can just kind of almost have his little mic drop moment and just say, I can do this and do that, and who really cares?
He's getting away with it.
Well, hopefully he'll be convicted of these crimes.
Well, it's not going to happen until after he's out of office,
it
looks like, down in Springfield, if and when that happens. If you're watching us on the Window World webcam this morning, thank you. We apologize. We understand there have been a few problems for our Facebook viewers the past few days. We don't know why. There's not a human being you can ever reach at Facebook to ask those questions, but some people have been having trouble getting logged in to the show on Facebook. I'm not sure what's going on there. I apologize. We are on YouTube and Rumble and X, and if you were on the comment line, 314-241-9797, we're constantly reading that and trying to keep up with it. The latest one, the last one here from the 919 area code, thank you for that. We had to look it up. It's East Central Carolina somewhere.
North Carolina.
North Carolina. You guys rock. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. We'll be reading your comments. We've been talking a lot about lots of people on here with comments about Amendment 5 because I brought that up last hour. And we're going to talk more about that this morning because just like the Amendment 4, that annoying commercial that's airing where those women are lying about Amendment 4 and claiming it's not conservative and blah, 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 paid for by the realtors. Now they've got another ad running on this radio station. On Amendment 4, I should say, was the first ad. This one's on Amendment 5. Telling the same lies that it's like a good old boy who just doing this because the big campaign contributions are going to come rolling in and blah, blah. For all I know, they're coming from the Missouri Realtors Association. It's where the campaign contributions are coming from because they're the ones paying for the ads, just so you know. And it's just hype. They're just lying to you. You have a chance to protect the Missouri Constitution. That's Amendment 4. And stop paying Missouri income taxes and being penalized for producing, that's Amendment 5. You may never have that opportunity to pass those two bills again. This is the time to do it. To protect the Missouri Constitution so people can't buy their way onto it and protect your paycheck, where you get to keep your money and you get to decide how you spend it. And there are guidelines built into it. It is Hancock Amendment friendly, which means they can't take in a bunch more revenue. The reason this is designed the way it is to phase it in is so that if they immediately raise the sales tax a percentage point, but they're still getting income tax, the government would be so flush with money it wouldn't know what to do with. Well, you want to avoid that situation because at that point, thanks to Hancock, they would have to send that money back to you anyway, but they're trying to slowly transition it. That's the reason it's written the way it is. It makes sense. And we'll talk more about it. We're going to get Senator Nick Schroer on in the 8 o'clock hour to chat more about that this morning. So be sure and stay tuned for that. Tom Ackerman at the bottom of the hour. But right now, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
You know who they're saying you're next to there? Those are the Democrat socialists up in New York. Chanting
Hassan Piker?
Hakeem Jeffries.
Oh, gosh.
Hakeem Jeffries was on the big screen trying to explain how communists won 3 congressional seats in New York, and the communists are yelling at him, "You're next." The Democrats have a socialist problem, and they're just really starting to realize how bad it is.
We need the energy that Mamdani's bringing to the Republican Party, to the Democratic Party. We need more young socialists who bring energy to it and get our base out. And that works in New York. It works in Sacramento. It doesn't work in swing states.
Thank you, Mark Thiessen, there on Fox last night, pointing that out. These socialists are winning in deep blue areas. That stuff's not going to fly in the swing states, right? In Carolina and in Ohio and places like that. That is never going to work.
I think the whole world will be against any mechanism that charges money to use an international waterway. It's that simple. The president's already said it. That's not going to happen. When we mean open the straits, we mean open the straits free in international waterways.
Yep, Marco Rubio, they're talking about what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz and these ongoing negotiations with Iran.
To start this off, I think we have to give a big round of applause for our military band and singers. Way better than those libtards that canceled on us. So much better. Thank you, guys.
Sean Duffy, your transportation secretary, speaking last night at the Celebrate 250 anniversary rally there in D.C. on the Mall. The president was there. A bunch of other members of the cabinet were there. The military band was there. Lee Greenwood was there. It really was pretty well done. And Jackie, one of our regular listeners on Facebook, said yesterday that she was just getting ready to leave to go to Washington for a few days to enjoy some of those celebrations. It's not just one celebration. It's like 15 or 20 days they've got things planned out. So
yeah, and now we're less than 10 days from July 4th.
I
Yeah,
know.
things will only ramp up.
It ought to be good. Find a way to celebrate America, especially loud. Do something that'll hack off your left-wing neighbors around the 4th this year.
What are you
just
doing?
to get under their skin.
Are you going to put some giant Trump flag in your yard?
Maybe I will. That would work.
Do one of those inflatables, at Christmas time when you have the huge inflatable reindeer or whatever. You just put a massive Trump inflatable in your front yard. And you of all people
I'm sure
would do
there
that,
would
Mark.
be an HOA rule against that, but there's not a rule against what I put on the flagpole. And I have just the Looney Tunes in mind that might get ticked off by it. So I might have to do that. All right, we'll get to a quick break. We got the morning brief up next. Tom Ackerman with more on what these changes to the Cardinals organization might mean for the team. We'll be right back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Yeah, we look good on the roads on the Missouri side at this hour. And there's a little bit of a slowdown on the Illinois side, eastbound 64, east of 157. And it's all due to road work over there. But that's it. Otherwise, we look great at this hour, off to a nice quiet start. This report is brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property, manage vegetation, and clear land for better views. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
All right. If real estate is on your mind, you've found maybe a piece of property or a home you'd really love to move to, and you're considering selling yours, you need to call Gloria Lou. Here's the problem. When you are a homeowner, you want to move, most of us, unless you're independently wealthy, you need the equity in the home you're living in to buy the new one. That's kind of how it works for most people. And in this particular case, Gloria is an expert at that. 314-325-6888. She's my realtor. She will help you. She will work out with you a fair price for your home, and she'll tell you, if I can't sell it, I'll buy it at this price. She'll put it in writing. You have that guarantee. You've agreed to it, and you're ready to move on to your next dream. Also, she'll put in writing, if I don't sell your home for 100% of market value, I'll pay you the difference. Think of the peace of mind that goes along with that. I hate to keep going back to that, but it's true. As a homeowner, nobody wants two mortgages. So this is why what Gloria does is so great. She's been at it over 20 years. Her company's called Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call her today and tell her you heard Mark talking about her. 314-325-6888. Or online anytime. It's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Today, the Cards, the D-backs. Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:45. Play the ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The time now is 6:20, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. The Cardinals held a huge press conference yesterday that probably could have been an email. We'll get Tom Ackerman's thoughts on it at 6:35.
St. Louis Morning Brief.
Well, we do have an update on our St. Louis City firefighter who pooped in a box at the airport. Channel 4 did some digging and found out that the guy had a prior assault case. This stemmed back to, let's see here, it stemmed back to New Year's Eve 2005. It says, according to records, the firefighter was charged and found guilty of third-degree assault. The record states he struck, poked, and choked another man. Did it really say he poked him? It's almost embarrassing that they put that in the record. He also says he poked me.
So, obviously, was he a firefighter in 2005?
I believe so.
Or did he get hired since then?
No, I think it said that he'd been with the department since, was it like 1990?
There are a lot of disturbing things about this story, but what I didn't realize when we talked about this earlier this week is the fact that this incident, this defecating in a box that happened in the food storage closet for one of the restaurants at the airport. They then had to destroy all of the food that was connected to that restaurant after they discovered it. Now, they won't say which restaurant or if anybody's health was put at risk, but that kind of elevates the seriousness of this. He didn't go into a corner in a big garage and do it. He went into a food closet and did it. That's a problem.
He's not been charged with anything yet, though I'm sure he will be. He's just on administrative leave. But the guy's got to be fine. I mean, caught on camera pooping in a box?
I can tell you one thing. If that happened in any other business, they'd have your key card pulled and escort you out the door as they boxed up the stuff on your desk.
Sorry.
Wouldn't they?
I'm thinking of what they
different box.
What they also have
yeah, different box. They'd use a different box, hopefully, but they would get your crap and they would move it out of the building. How can this guy stay employed? I'm sorry. Come on.
There's just so many avenues you could take this story.
I know.
All right. St. Charles police are having to up patrols at Blanchette Park today because there's a rumored teen takeover. This was posted on social media where they were calling for a teen takeover at the aquatic center there from noon until 7. And then the plan was, I guess, to move to the park itself.
I don't think these teens quite understand what they're dealing with. They don't play in St. Charles County. You might be able to get away with that crap in the city, but I'm not sure that they're gonna play. The politics are a little different out there.
Yeah, police are basically saying that, none of this behavior will be tolerated, and they're also warning parents, hey, make sure you know what's going on. Be prepared to pick up your kid.
Yeah.
How about the parents just don't send their kids there? That's a solution. Don't understand why this is even continuing to happen, where parents are dropping their kids off and saying, all right, pick you up hours later. Stay out of trouble, honey. Remember how we were talking about the situation with Starbucks the other day where back in 2023 there were two employees who were pistol whipped and everything as these two guys were trying to rob the store?
And then they stopped them and then they got fired
for it. And then they did sue Starbucks over that. Well, anyway, KFC and Florissant, this is off Highway 67, they were robbed at gunpoint. Guy walks in, goes to the office where the safe is, demands that the manager open up the safe. The manager does. The guy gets the money and takes off running into the parking lot, but the employee tackled the dude, went after him, held him down, disarmed him, and people were able to call police. Guy got arrested.
Has that employee been fired yet?
That was my next question. Doesn't say that, and I wonder how KFC will handle this. Now, technically, he didn't tackle him in the KFC. He let him get to the parking lot before he did it.
No, it was still on their property. Oh, man. I don't know. I think now that's an example of if that guy got fired, or I assume it was a guy, if that employee got fired and started a GoFundMe page, I would consider donating to it because, first of all, that takes guts. And second of all, shame on a company that would fire an employee who was simply defending your property. That's awful.
I mean, I go back to the point that we both made yesterday where I can understand if this is some bank heist and, the guy just slips a note, doesn't even show a gun and just says, give me all your money or something like that, and then walks out and it's not violent. But once you start holding someone at gunpoint or in the Starbucks case, you're pistol whipping someone, I'm sorry, the gloves come off and you have every right. You should have every right as an employee to protect yourself and try to protect the other staff.
Yes.
The fact that you're setting the precedent that you have to just sit back and be like, yeah, you might shoot me and kill me, but I don't want to risk losing my job over this as a barista making $12 an hour or whatever they make. What a joke. So we were talking about Pride Fest, and a lot of that's happening downtown, which is why there are a lot of road closures. If you do come downtown here in the next few days, beware of that. But the other part of Pride Fest is happening in the Grove. It's kind of like the gay district, if you will. Is that fair to describe it like that? I'd call it that. I'm gonna go with that. I feel like it's fair to say that. There's a lot of gay bars there. Anyway, they're preparing for it, but there was actually a deadly shooting there yesterday.
Last night, right?
Yeah, 7:30 p.m. near the intersection of Taylor and Shodo. Victim is the 21st juvenile to be involved in a shooting in the city so far this year. And if you just want some perspective here, it says the same time last year there had been 23 juveniles killed. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it may be unrelated, obviously, to what's going on here, but
I'm sure it is.
It's got to raise some alarms with that many people who are going to be involved in that this weekend.
Well, and that's the concern. That's why the mayor had said, hey, bars, would you mind closing at midnight? Because there had been fights and shootings at last year's Pride Fest celebration, and so she's trying to, avoid some of that. The person who was killed, by the way, is a 15-year-old. All right, last big story relates to the funding at the St. Louis County Jail. Remember the Department of, Justice, whatever it is, they had come out and said, you can no longer send prisoners to the jail if they need any medical attention. You have to send them to the hospital.
No,
well, really,
it was worse
everybody
than that.
would have to go
had to
because
get
they all
checked.
have to get signed off on saying you're fine. Really, it's a liability thing, but council ends up approving this. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm kind of irritated about it just because Sam Page is a baby, and it makes me mad that he got his way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and again, they called an emergency session yesterday to pass the extra $3 million in spending because effectively the county executive put a gun to their head and they didn't want criminals running around all over the place.
And it was
couldn't be processed.
It was about $100,000 more than the health department had even originally requested. And what's irritating is Councilman Mark Harder said, look, health department, had you just met with the council budget committee to request the extra spending that's required by the council's new policy, we could have avoided this whole thing. But you were refusing to do that, refusing to answer our questions about your budget.
Page is a control freak and he doesn't want that. So that's exactly why that happened. All right, you heard Ethan say it first. They could have just put a press release out, but the Cardinals held a news conference to explain why the son of the owner is the new CEO. We'll talk to Tom Ackerman about that coming up.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history. expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering for Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
All that rain that's headed this way, we know it's kind of apparently stall out over us, which is why we're going to get a lot of moisture the next few days. Your foundation, if it's got a crack in it, guess where that water's going? I'm sorry, but just be prepared for it. Let Home Shield come out and start fixing the problem now. 314-271-9900. Get Matt Hayes on the job, and you'll get your solution, and you're going to get honesty along with it. You don't want somebody who's going to be coming in and trying to upsell you on more work than you need. It's already something you're dreading, probably. Call Matt. Let Matt explain to you, listen, I can fix that crack over there, and when I do, I'm going to hand you a piece of paper that is a lifetime warranty. You can't beat that. That's the kind of honesty you want, and there's nothing Matt hasn't come across in his 20-plus years running this local family-owned business. 314-271-9900. Tell him Mark sent you. Go to HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, traffic-wise, a couple of issues, but mostly we look good. And one of those issues is an accident. Highway A at the ramp to 70. It's off on the right side. Really not causing a delay. And other than that, we look good. That's Missouri and Illinois both. Yeah, I was looking over there. There's a little bit of volume. Eastbound 64 at 255. But that's it. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, I have to tell you that we are planning a night out with some friends, old friends that I've known for 25, 30 years. We're going to get together, and the discussion is, well, where should we meet? And I'm like, hey, we need to go to Lit Cigar Lounge because it's convenient for all of us. It's right there off of Highway 40 in Chesterfield, right in the district, close to the factory, and, you know, Napoli Brothers and Four Hands and all that is right there in the same area. They've got a great outdoor area, weather permitting, and if not, it is air-conditioned, and they have a fantastic state-of-the-art ventilation system on the inside. I'll guarantee you it's unlike any cigar lounge you've been in because, of course, there are people smoking cigars, some of the best, finest cigar makers from around the world. They got all kinds of great selection there. The bar is fully stocked. I love the fact that they now have a fresh Guinness on tap down there. So it is perfect for watching soccer games, baseball games, huge TVs all over the wall, and you're just going to enjoy hanging out. We're looking forward to it. Can't wait. And you'll get to know Brian and Dana and Charlie and Andrew and all the guys and girls that work down there. They're great. Go online today. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. You can follow them on their social media or just go to litstl.com.
I'm Bill Hemmer, and these are the most impactful moments in American history. On December 18, 2019, the House of Representatives convened for a historic moment. In a mostly party-line vote, the House approved 2 articles of impeachment, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, against President Trump. It was a moment Democrats had been preparing for months, all stemming from a phone call between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky. It would mark the 3rd presidential impeachment in U.S. history, a vote that tested the tolerance of Congress and the strength of a leader. Supporters of the president said it was a witch hunt, while critics believed it was a necessary act to protect democracy. The Senate would ultimately acquit President Trump on both charges.
America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk, sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Every child deserves the chance to learn, grow, and dream. But for many students, barriers like hunger, lack of resources, and limited opportunities can stand in the way. The Little Bit Foundation helps to break down barriers to learning for under-resourced students through programs and partnerships that support the whole child. From basic needs and health services to educational enrichment and career exploration, it helps students thrive in school and beyond. Visit thelittlebitfoundation.org to find out how you can support their mission. This message brought to you by Together Credit Union.
Marc Cox here from my friends at Zero Res. Summer is finally here. It's time to take advantage of Zero Res's best deal of the summer. They can handle every surface in your home. The carpets, the tile and grout, the upholstery and rugs, your air ducts and more. And right now you need to reach out to them because, listen, vacuuming is not enough to maintain the cleanliness and the lifespan of your carpet. Go to Zero Res, 314-474-2020, and ask for the 97.1 special.
From Wood River to Weldon Springs, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, we got Tom Ackerman stepping in the studio in just a minute, but Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, is live over in Bahrain this morning. We're going to dip into that for just a minute and see what he has to say.
A lot of work, but I can tell you that for the first time in 30 years, the sovereign government of Lebanon is speaking to the government of Israel directly. That's who we're going to be negotiating with. That's who we're going to be working with, not Hezbollah. Hezbollah is not the government of Lebanon. Lebanon has a government. It has democratically elected leaders. They have the sovereign right to speak and defend the interests of the Lebanese people. And what we want for Lebanon is a peaceful future. That's what everyone wants here. And frankly, I think we're going to have a very positive commitment of interest, whether it's of intent, whether it's today or in the days to come. We're working very hard at that. Hopefully today will be a day that can build on some of the things we were able to make progress on yesterday.
But did you agree with the Vice President's sentence?
No, I already told you the process that we're doing right now, and that is we're going to know what's actually happening, and we're going to be able to make an honest assessment as to what's happening and what isn't happening. Unfortunately, over the last few weeks, there's just been the fog of not knowing exactly who struck what and where and why. I think that's now been confronted and solved, and so I think that's going to give us a lot of fidelity about this process.
Let's just put a fine point.
There's the Secretary of State live over in Bahrain talking about negotiations with Lebanon. Obviously, the Israeli-Hezbollah conflict has caused a lot of strain on this agreement they're trying to reach with Iran, and he's clearly on the ground over there trying to work that out. So I wanted to bring that to you. Right now, I want to play something, and then let's get to our friend Tom Ackerman. Here we go.
My father started with the Cardinals in 1913, so our family goes back pretty far, and we're all in. We just had lunch with our grandson, who happens to work for the Cardinals. So, we're excited about not only what's occurred to date, but what the future is.
A great sportsman like Tom Ackerman. Baseball's really not a hard sport.
It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
It's like powered by coffee this morning.
Sports, sponsored by McDonald's, reminding you to round up your total for Ronald McDonald House charities on your next order.
All right, Tom Ackerman in studio. My friend, I had to play that from Bill DeWitt Jr. because it strikes me that what happened yesterday wasn't really surprising to anybody, right? The surprising part would have been if they had announced somebody other than named DeWitt was taking over as CEO.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that a lot of people, rumors fly. I get texts all the time like, are the Cardinals for sale? Are they being sold? Are the DeWitts selling? I'm like, no and no and no.
No, yeah.
Everything is fine. This is a baseball family that Bill DeWitt goes back to the early 1900s when his father was working for the Cardinals, and later Bill was a bat boy for the St. Louis Browns. Bill Jr. was, and now Bill III takes over as CEO. He's been the president for 18 years. So, yes, it is very much a family business, but also there are a number of local investors, including Carolyn Kindle, by the way, with St. Louis City SC. There are a lot of local investors involved in this thing, and the announcement yesterday was really just to announce kind of a new era of the front office for the Cardinals, because Bill DeWitt Jr. will remain principal owner, so he has the funding necessary, but calling the shots as CEO will be Bill III. So he'll oversee all of it now. He's the top dog in terms of the office there at Busch Stadium. And then Anouk Karunaratne, this is a big one because he's only been here 2 years, came over from the Blue Jays. He's a valuable piece in all of this. He is the president of business operations now, which means he will oversee all of the business operations at Busch Stadium, Ballpark Village, everything. So he runs the business side. He's a sharp guy who is going to basically be in charge of bringing this brand back. Now, ultimately, that falls on the players, and that's why Chaim Bloom was there as well. He's the president of baseball operations. So you got three pretty young guys running the St. Louis Cardinals here. Bill III, Anouk Karunarodny, Chaim Bloom. And that trio is tasked with bringing the Cardinals back to being one of the great franchises in baseball. They already are in terms of history and in terms of numbers of fans and all of that kind of thing. They're very well regarded. You know, they are the biggest community asset, I would say. I mean, you got the Arch, you got the Cardinals, and you get Anheuser-Busch. With all respect to everybody else, those are the big three, and the Cardinals have to be great for downtown to thrive, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I thought it was a big announcement from that respect. It was more of an education session, I think, for everybody, just to ask questions and to talk things over with Bill III and Anouk, with Chaim, chiming in every once in a while in the press conference. I thought it was necessary and transparent, because they need to be open with fans as to what they're doing here moving forward.
Good point. Did they say any changes that they would want to implement, or how they would keep building on this momentum that we have with the fan base, for example?
Absolutely. Their big goal here, Kim, is to bring in young fans. They want to see you at the ballpark. They want to see your family at the ballpark. And I notice it when I'm at the game. I see younger fans, younger parents coming to the game and introducing the game to the next generation. That's what they want.
They need day games for that.
Yeah, they want young people there. And, that we're seeing still on the weekends, a lot of people coming in on vacation in St. Louis. That's always been a huge part of the Cardinals' success, going way, way back. You could, at any given time, look around and see that about 40%, they would estimate, of the crowd was from out of town. These are people from Kentucky and Tennessee and Arkansas and all parts of Iowa and Illinois and the surrounding states who have been Cardinals fans. That's something we always remember, is the Cardinals aren't just St. Louis's team. They are very much this part of America's team, Midwest and South. And that's due to a lot of factors, one being that KMOX would blaze the signal west, and they were the westernmost team. They were the team west of the Mississippi. So they had all of those fans, and that's been handed down through the generations, which made St. Louis a vacation destination, and it all sort of fed on itself. Ultimately, it comes down to how good this team will be. You got to have players and a good team to draw fans, and there's a buzz around the ballpark. I mean, you're starting to see people like this young team, and although they lost last night, they're not going to win every game. They are 42-36, pretty good record. They're the number one wild card team in the National League. Can they sustain it? We'll see. They are way ahead of schedule right now. This is not expected. This is a team that is in a rebuild, but the young players sometimes, these young guys, they get an opportunity and they just, are out there just flying around doing their thing. So they're trying to figure it out from a pitching side right now. That's gone awry a little bit, but for the most part, fun team. You never know what's going to happen.
Have they talked to you at all, Tom, about upgrades at the stadium and what they want to do with it? Because that law they passed that would have helped the Chiefs and the Royals, will it also benefit the Cardinals?
Yeah, that'll be a big conversation moving forward. That wasn't as much of a topic yesterday, I didn't think, but it is something that Bill III has said in the past is, why not have this ballpark be the next Wrigley or Fenway? Like, why couldn't you have Busch Stadium here for 100 years in downtown, facing the arch and the skyline? To do that, though, you got to continue to upgrade the park. So they are, at 20 years now, and things are you can't see it necessarily, but things inside, start to come to the end of their life. So you have to upgrade everything within the park. That was really what happened to Busch Stadium, too, is while on the exterior they did a good job of keeping it updated. They put that manual scoreboard in. Remember, they painted everything green. They put in these new seats and put grass out there instead of artificial turf, and it looked awesome. But inside, man, the pipes were gurgling, and there were smells and things happening, behind the walls. Like they had to take that thing down. So this ballpark, they've got to make sure they maintain it and keep it up to date, and they're certainly keeping that in mind. But boy, I mean, he's right about one thing in terms of its where it's situated, downtown with a surrounding entertainment district, pretty promising. It does come down to a matter of funding down the road.
Sure.
Yeah.
I saw that, talking about the Blues, I saw that they traded Jordan Kyrou.
Oh, baby. They've got 4 first-round picks tomorrow. I'm going to say that again. 4 first-round picks. I don't know. Do they take 4 players in the draft? That is a massive upgrade to your roster. Or do you trade 1, 2, or all 4 of them for one unbelievable player? That has been put on the table by Doug Armstrong. He's in a very powerful position right now. Jordan Kyrou is a good player. He's going to play well in Washington. Not a great fit for the Blues system. The Blues are out to upgrade this team, and man, tomorrow's going to be fun. I have no clue what's going to happen because he could do anything he wants at this point. He has 4 first-round picks.
So I was going to say it's like drawing 4 aces if you're in a card game, right?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's amazing with the position the Blues are in right now. It could be a really fun, crazy day, or whatever happens.
Do you have a name in mind, Tom?
Of a player?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I didn't know if anybody's name had been floated around.
No, but I like this Ivar Stenberg, the number 2 pick in the draft. You don't have to spend 4 first-round picks for him, but you're going to have to trade a couple of them at least to move up. All right, I got to go do sports.
All right.
I don't want to leave.
That's all right.
I don't want to leave Megan.
Thanks,
hanging.
man.
See ya.
Appreciate it. All right, good. I just wondered. I mean, that is good for the Blues. It'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. We'll have to pay attention to that.
That would be tough. I mean, because really, they've talked about how the Blues are kind of a rebuilding. This will be a rebuilding season for them, too. Maybe they'll be able to surprise us like the Cardinals have. You know, it's funny. They can have it sounds like the record for the Cards is not bad, but it's funny where as long as there's energy surrounding the team, you can have a worse record and it can be sort of overlooked if the fan experience is still positive.
If they feel like they're going to be entertained and that you're in it, right? It seems like that's my impression of this Cardinals team.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I've been to 2 games now. You never get the impression they're completely out of it, which is what you want.
Does it feel different when you're there? I've not gone to a game yet this season.
The games I went to were so early. I have not been to one in the past month and a month, at least a month, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So I don't know. I don't know if that's it or not. But they're doing the right. They're moving in the right direction. Let's put it that way. Are they going to be a contender this year? Maybe not. But if they get the wild card, I mean, that's something to hang your hat on in season 1 of a rebuilding era. I think for sure. All right, coming up, we'll get to other news here in a few minutes. We got Griff Jenkins is going to join us at the top of the next hour because he is in for Stuart Varney today on Fox, so he's going to be tied up our entire 8 o'clock hour when he would normally be joining us right after Shannon Bream. We still have Shannon in the 8 o'clock hour. We're also going to talk to J.D. Hayworth, who's a former Arizona congressman. I don't know if you remember the name or not. He ran for Senate down there, I think, or I think it was Senate, and barely he ran against John McCain for Senate. And barely lost. So we're going to talk to him about health care, affordability, and all this stuff that's going to be coming up in terms of the midterms. That's also at about 7:20 this morning. So we'll take a quick break and be back in just a minute.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we look okay on the roads. There's a little bit more volume out there than there was just a few minutes ago. Southbound 270 slowing at 64. We've got northbound with a slow pocket or two right around Big Bend. 55 is in good shape this morning into downtown. We did have a report of a tire in a lane, so just take care. And it sounds like that was north of 141. But that's about it. Now, if you are at 55 downtown, there's a little bit of a slowdown at the 44 split. But it's Illinois that's got volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge and eastbound 64 between 255 and just past 157. It's a slow go through there. Quiet, though, through North County, and in general, we look okay. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up. Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
Well, you love feeling good about your house. It does. When somebody compliments you on something, you're like, yeah, thank you. Well, I think we made a good decision there as well. I had a friend over a couple nights ago, and we were sitting out on the back porch, and he was very complimentary of my landscaping we just had put in, which I told you was done by lawn enforcement. Brandon over at lawn enforcement took care of me. He knew I had an event coming up, and I needed to get that all done and have it squared away before we had 120 people at the house or however many came over, and he got it done right in time and right on time, I should say, and it looks beautiful. It still looks beautiful. It'll look beautiful for years. We appreciate what they did for us. They can help you upgrade your lawn too. That was a major upgrade for us. They can help you with landscaping. They can do design for you if you don't know what to do. They can do the installation once you make that decision. And they were just at my house yesterday fertilizing my lawn, because that's something I've always been behind the eight ball on. I never get it done at the right time. And now I don't have to worry about it because Brandon and the folks at lawn enforcement are taking care of it for me. They can mow. They can do whatever you need to take your lawn from good to great. Reach out to them. Tell them you heard Marc Cox, satisfied customer, bragging about them. You can check them out online at yourlawnenforcement.com.
Dana Lash.
America is that shining city on the hill, such an unprecedented beacon of freedom for the world. People risk their lives to get here, and it's worth celebrating America.
America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Data centers don't wait, and neither should your supply chain. From power and connectivity to racks and critical power, Graybar brings the products and the experience data centers need now. And with deep inventory and logistics expertise, we keep projects moving from first delivery to final install. With hundreds of locations and a nationwide delivery fleet, we help you bring facilities online, on time, and on budget. Yep. Graybar does that.
This is Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates. You know, the doctors, or just the best doctors to see for your best vision in St. Louis. 314-966-5000, the doctors. They've treated more than 250 doctors. That's more than any other practice. Dr. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Bersati, Dr. Andy Royer. 314-966-5000 is their phone number. 314-966-5000. Dr. Birdie, Dr. Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, dry eye, allergy eye, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, LASIK surgery. The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, experts. Call for an appointment today, 314-966-5000, or visit them online, youridoc.com, 12990 Manchester Road, quarter-mile west of 270. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
Here we go again. I've talked about NIL. I've talked about the fact that they've completely screwed up college sports. And now, here we go again. Remember, it used to be you had 4 years of eligibility, which coincidentally, I still have my full 4 years of eligibility. I just want to point that out. I only signed NCAA papers and lasted about 3 weeks. So I still think I could claim my 4 years of eligibility. Mm-hmm. However,
go get them.
The NCAA, there's been a movie about that lately. Remember that guy played football at 60? That's fun. An NCAA panel has approved new eligibility rules giving D1 athletes, I don't know why they're not giving it to all of them, D1 athletes can have 5 years now. They can play 5 full seasons instead of having to go in and redshirt for a season in order to get a 5th season out of playing. Wow. I just don't understand that. You've got 18-year-olds having to compete against 25-year-olds. I mean, or 24 or 25-year-olds. What are they thinking about? They're letting kids who've gone pro in some fashion, come back and play NCAA basketball. It's just ruining the sport.
Well, they have women playing with men and men playing with women, so you might as well do that.
Yeah, this though. They just don't get it. I don't know.
So some guy in Australia has just hit the world record for the loudest scream, the loudest person in the world. And it says that he has yelled at 122.4 decibels.
Wow.
And I was just wondering what that was, I was
what that would sound like. What do they compare it to?
Yeah.
What do they compare it to?
According to Google, it says other sounds that hit this extreme volume include jet planes taking off, chainsaw, or an ambulance siren when heard from a few feet away.
Or
so this
The
guy's
View.
very loud. Yeah,
and anything
them
stated
talking.
on The View would hit those decibel levels.
How do you yell that loud? I would
don't
not
know.
want to be his wife.
I think it's somebody I was sitting beside at that last City game. I can tell you that. Get this. 2 baby giraffes have been found safe after vanishing from a Virginia zoo a year ago. I have questions. Where the hell do you hide a giraffe? How you would have to have a huge amount of property to hide a giraffe. They're so tall.
That's bizarre.
So apparently they shut down. The state officials were investigating animal abuse at some zoo there in 2025, something called the Natural Bridge Zoo in Virginia. And they went in and they went to round up all the animals. And when they took a head count, they realized there were 2 baby giraffes missing. So I guess the owner or somebody removed them from the property before they could be taken. And now finally, 2 years later, they have been recovered. There was a $50,000 reward out for these 2 animals, and now they found them.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
A year later, you said?
Yeah, 2 years later, almost.
Staying on the animal beat, there's a neighborhood in Pennsylvania that says that hundreds of rats have been terrorizing them. Hundreds of them. The people are saying that they're setting traps and they're killing dozens just over the last month, but the rat problem won't go away. They're just running rampant everywhere. Oh,
Sure.
yeah. Can you imagine you just walk outside your house and you see a bunch of rats running around?
No, that would be horrible. That would be horrible. All right, so once again, explaining why I go to every old guy rock concert I can these days. Poor Rod Stewart is on stage, and the dude's 81 years old. I think he's on his last tour now. This is the final tour.
Sure.
And he had a frightening moment on stage. He had to take a seat, and they had to give him oxygen during the during the show when he was singing the 81 hit Young Turks.
Did I see he continued on? He just got some oxygen?
He got a little oxygen, got back up on his feet, wiggled a little bit, and kept right on singing. There you go.
Well, more
How about
power
that?
to him.
I guess. You go, Rod. When they have to do that to Sammy, I might
You
finally
better
give
go
up.
see him in concert since it could be his last.
I know. I wish my wife was listening right now. She needs to know that. All right, coming up, we'll get to Griff Jenkins, J.D. Hayworth, and we're going to talk more about the guys that are defending Amendment 4.
Hi, Sandy. What's that?
I'm reading up on this Amendment 4 on the August ballot.
What's 4?
Amendment 4 absurdly creates a new un-American minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that we citizens put on the ballot.
Don't they say it'll protect conservative ideas?
Truth gets in the way of their story. Amendment 4 would mean as few as 5% of the most liberal statewide voters in one congressional district could veto any good conservative idea or reform, even when a big majority supports it.
That does sound un-American. How did that get on the ballot?
The politicians put it there, and it would empower a small minority of liberals. They could stop funding for police, stop tax cuts, or any other common sense conservative policy we support.
Only 5%? One district? That would make it nearly impossible to pass needed reforms or rein in politicians.
Yep, Amendment 4 is a misguided power grab by politicians. I'm voting no on Amendment 4.
Right. I'm not giving up my constitutional rights. It's a hard no on 4.
Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy, weight gain, or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Your home deserves siding that's as tough as it is beautiful. At Lakeside Renovation and Design, we install James Hardy siding, built to handle everything the St. Louis weather throws its way. Rain, snow, or summer heat. Not only does it look amazing, but it also protects your home with long-lasting durability and low maintenance. Plus, with our expert team, you'll love the seamless installation process. Ready to give your home a stunning upgrade? Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com. Protect your home with the siding that's built to last.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-910-2233. That's 800-910-2233. 800-910-2233.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Disaster in Venezuela. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Two powerful earthquakes a minute apart flattened homes and buildings, killing at least 164 people. Almost 1,000 are injured. More are buried in the rubble, and the U.S. is helping.
We're already deploying search and rescue teams from Fairfax County, Virginia, and Los Angeles.
The Secretary of State Marco Rubio a short time ago.
There'll be some others we'll add. That's their most immediate need right now is search and rescue efforts. They have a bunch of collapsed buildings, and so they'll need a lot of help in terms of digging through that.
And the U.S. will send other assistance.
The twin quakes had magnitudes of 7.2 and 7.5, the strongest to hit Venezuela in more than a century. Damage has been reported in several states. In the capital, Caracas, which was badly hit, power is out for many, and the city's metro system and airport have been closed.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Back to Secretary Rubio. He's spoken about Bahrain after meeting with leaders of Gulf countries, talking about Iran.
One thing that came across very clear is there is zero support among the Gulf countries for any sort of toll or fees or anything that charges for the use of international waters.
This has more oil and other shipping moves through the Strait of Hormuz after the U.S. and Iran signed a deal and continue nuclear talks. And Rubio's hopeful Israel and Lebanon can work out peace versus Hezbollah.
You're not going to have peace and stability in this region as long as there are non-state actors operating within the boundaries and borders of sovereign countries and being funded by Iran.
Well, Hezbollah and Iran are demanding Israel withdraw from Lebanon. A reversal at the Senate, rejecting a war powers resolution to limit U.S. actions in Iran the day after approving it. Though President Trump calls the resolution meaningless, two Republicans had switched their votes, including Bill Cassidy, after he and the president shouted at each other during a lunch meeting.
And if someone tries to bully me to say, wait a second, because I am whatever I am, I'm going to bully you, I ain't going to put up with that.
The president is also demanding senators approve a voter ID bill that also restricts mail-in balloting as a federal judge blocks a Trump executive order on new voting rules. America's listening to Fox News.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay. Are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Good morning, sunny and 68 degrees here to start this Thursday morning. Our time is 7:03. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. In an emergency meeting Wednesday, the St. Louis County Council approved funding to keep 23 nurses at the county jail. This comes less than a day after the Director of Justice Services warned police across the county they could no longer bring prisoners to the jail for medical attention because of the lack of funding. Councilman Mark Harder says this could have been all avoided if the health department had just met with the council budget committee like it's required to request the extra funding. A St. Louis County fast food employee is being credited with stopping a man trying to rob the restaurant. The incident happened Monday morning around 11:45 at the KFC in the 2400 block of Highway 67 in Florissant. Police say Tamon Sleet walked up to the KFC manager in his office with a gun and demanded he open the safe. Sleet ran away after getting the money but didn't get very far. According to investigators, one of the KFC employees tackled him in the parking lot, disarming him, while others called 911. St. Charles police will increase patrols today at a park where there's rumored to be a teen takeover. A social media post called for this teen takeover at Blanchette Park Aquatic Center from noon until 7, with plans to then move to the park itself. St. Charles police released a statement saying, in part, "We encourage parents to assess this gathering carefully and be prepared to pick up their child should disruptive behavior begin or appear likely." In sports, Cardinals lost to the Diamondbacks yesterday 9-4 the final, wrapping up the series tonight at Busch Stadium. First pitch 6:45. As expected, big announcement from the Cardinals yesterday was that Bill DeWitt III will officially be taking over as the team's CEO. And for any World Cup fans, Team USA plays Turkey tonight at 9 o'clock. Coming up 5 minutes after the hour here, 68 degrees and sunny. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Looking good on eastbound 70 from Wright City into downtown. 64 is in good shape as well. Although westbound, there's some volume right at 170. And there was an accident reported southbound 170, south of Forest Park Parkway, so a little bit of volume through there. Northbound 55 looks good from down south into the city. On the Illinois side, we're fine on the bridges, but a little bit busy there. At eastbound 64 at 255, that, of course, is due to road work. And this report is brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. We would like to congratulate them on their 50-year anniversary. You do not stay in business that long by not supplying quality products and outstanding service. The key is their experienced staff. So contact Barron Mirror Glass and Door today and let them show you why 50 years is just the beginning. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Unsettled weather, and the main features will be heavy downpours of rain at times and the possibility of some flash flooding. This is kind of a long-lasting rain event. A mix of clouds and sunshine today with scattered showers and thunderstorms, 86. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight, 69. Scattered showers and thunderstorms Friday, 83. Still showers and thunderstorms around Friday night and into Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Coming up on 7:07 this Thursday morning, 68 degrees, a nice start here if you're just waking up. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show anytime or from anywhere on our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
In Kyiv, Ukraine, Griff Jenkins, Fox News. Along the southern border, Griff Jenkins, Fox News. At the White House, Griff Jenkins, Fox News. In St. Louis, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Tell me where in the world is
Griff Jenkins. All right, we got some early Griff today because Stuart Varney needs him. Am I correct?
That's right. Nothing like a early dose of Griff Jenkins. I can't think of anything worse.
That's
What's
outstanding. Now, do you have to perfect a British accent in order to do Stuart Varney's show?
No, look, he's an American citizen now, and I put him on the spot way back at the beginning of the World Cup. I said, out of nowhere, we were talking about the World Cup, I said, hey, by the way,
are you UK or US? And he said, oh, it's a tough one. So I cornered him, and he said he's rooting for the US. So let's
good.
go America.
Well, I did hear him say on his show the other day with Kilmeade that he is a huge soccer fan and always has been. Grew up with it, apparently, obviously, and he was really excited about the U.S. having this opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I mean, it's no surprise that England has long been a champion of the World Cup, and everybody in Britain plays soccer. That's the national sport, much like our NFL here. But to see our team doing as well as we're doing, and let's hope we have an easy win, I think we will, against Turkey today. We're going to have to rest some players because, among others, our star, Flo Balogun, got a yellow card, so you can't play the yellow card guys because you don't want them to get in any more trouble. But if we can win, it looks like right now it's kind of very complicated the way it plays out. But it looks like if we can beat Turkey today, and then we will face Bosnia possibly and win that, we could get to the quarterfinals, and that would be remarkable, along with historic back-to-back victories, which the U.S. team's never had.
Well, what do you think about some of these World Cup fans who are saying they owe America an apology because they had this idea that America was terrible based on all these headlines and things that they see, and then they come here and they love it?
We should play that bite, Griff. Kim played this earlier for one of her segments. Ethan, if you don't mind, play the bite from that fan who was so pleasantly surprised when he came to the U.S.
We owe America a huge apology because America is nothing like what the media tells us. Everyone is so friendly, everyone is so accommodating, and I've honestly had the best time. I fly home Sunday, and the English have a song where we say, please don't take me home, I just don't want to go to work. Let me stay here and drink all your beer. And I've never resonated with that song more than in America for this World Cup. I wish I could stay and finish the tournament watching England.
He's begging for a place to live, I think, Griff. It's pretty funny. I don't know if he's got a GoFundMe page or what, but it's just a great example of somebody coming here to visit for the first time and finding out it was all a lie.
Just give them citizenship.
Yeah.
What the hell? And I thought the White House was brilliant putting a montage together.
Yes.
Yeah.
People are saying that. I retweeted. I think that guy, was that Oliver Henry?
Maybe that was his name. I can't remember what his name.
I believe that's his name. He ended up, I just reposted him late last night. He actually met Trump. He actually got to meet the president along with others. But here's the big takeaway from that, right? We're marveling about how amazing it is to have these foreign soccer fans to come here and tell us literally what we already knew, which is how great and exceptional our country was. But when you look at it, perhaps the only bigger shock than the U.S. men's team's success in this tournament, which is a remarkable, wonderful shock, is that the big loser in the entire World Cup, the person that was defeated more than anything, was the mainstream media and the international mainstream media that spent decades telling all of these Europeans that America is bad and it's dangerous and they're terrible. It's a terrible place to be. And they all came here and fell in love with Waffle House, Buc-ee's, and Bass Pro Shops.
I thought that was fantastic. And yeah, you're right. I was pointing out a story in the Daily Mail that happened. It's been a month or two or more ago, but their article said there was a mass shooting near a World Cup soccer site in Kansas City days before the team arrived. And I dug into it a little bit because I went to the local Kansas City media coverage, and 4 miles from the training facility at 2 a.m, there was a drug deal related shooting. And that's the incident that the international media took and tried to portray it as a dangerous situation for World Cup soccer fans.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And, let me just say one more thing about these soccer fans, which I wanted to make a point with you. And that is, I'm in New York, where we just witnessed literally the Squad 2.0 across the board. The 3 members that were just elected in this Democrat primary, the Mamdani candidates, are so far socialist left It is flexing massive muscle, and they want to take the country to the worst, most dangerous place we've ever witnessed, perhaps in our 250-year history. While all of these people, many from countries that are socialist, particularly when you consider Latin American countries, that are saying, America's great, please don't change it. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yet they know from real human experience exactly how dangerous we're going. It's a remarkable sort of snapshot if you place what these people from outside of America know about the dangers of where we're headed versus what we're witnessing in these primaries and Mamdani pushing the Democrat Party to a socialist footing that we've never seen. Consider this. So we had on the original squad with AOC as the leader. Well, I got some new initials for you we're going to be talking about, and that's DAC, because Daria Eliza Avila Chevalier is literally the most far-left candidate, and we can go through the litany. We've all been talking about it for days, about how much she literally hates America. But she defeated the chairman of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, Adriano Espaillat. He led the fight against Trump on the border, on deportations, on abolishing ICE, and that wasn't enough. Then you look at literally the defeat of Dan Goldman, right? He's gone. Brad Lander absolutely smoked Dan Goldman by 20-plus points, and Dan Goldman led the fight to impeach Trump the first time. That wasn't enough.
By the way, Lander's from St. Louis, we learned yesterday. He grew up in North St. Louis County. We're really proud.
Well, Creve Coeur, yeah. He grew up in Creve Coeur.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
okay, he went to what, Parkway North?
Uh-huh.
But, Griff, it's crazy when you think about these three candidates, and I saw some article, I think this morning, talking about how it's particularly the young white voters who really mobilize behind them, and that's who Mamdani has really won over. And you think, okay, how are they reaching them? It seems like it's TikTok, it's social media. That's the way that these candidates are really having such a big influence, I would argue, on these young voters who are, well, arguably making a difference.
It's a fantastic point, Kim. And consider this. In 2015, the Democrat Socialists of America National Group had just over 6,000 members. Today, they've got hundreds of thousands, and they have proven that they can do the get out the vote game perhaps better than any other group right now in this election year. And ultimately, that connection is that the Democrat Socialists of America saw enough alignment in Bernie Sanders' 2016 campaign that they hitched their wagon to it. Now you've got Bernie Sanders literally about to be on the precipice of a historic push of the left in his party to where he wants it. And the Democrat Socialists of America, make no mistake, plan to push him out of the way and keep going. And Mamdani has been described as a fox in the henhouse for Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, and we need to be paying attention. That's a reality that you need to take seriously.
Well, buddy, you have fun on the Varney show today, and thanks for giving us a few minutes.
Thanks, guys. I got Outnumbered coming up at noon.
Oh,
Check it
cool.
out.
All right, we'll see you there. Griff Jenkins going to be all over Fox News Channel today, for sure. The front headline post of the New York Post today, the print version, says the young and the clueless. Just 7% of voters, mostly white and under 30, picked Israel-hating radicals to represent Dems in their districts.
Yep.
So that's exactly who it was. You hit the nail on the head, for sure. All right, coming up, we'll get to J.D. Hayworth. He's a former congressman from Arizona. He ran against John McCain out there for Senate years ago. We're going to get him on here talking about some of these midterm issues in just a minute.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, a little bit slow there, southbound 170, just south of Forest Park Parkway, and that's where we've got an accident that caused a delay this morning. In fact, it sounds like that one is actually in the left lane, and it looks like it's closer to Brentwood Boulevard. So some slow-moving traffic there, but that's kind of the exception. Westbound 64 is slow. That's approaching Clayton Skinker through the inner belt. On the bridges, we look fine if you're headed in from Illinois, but there is a little bit of moderate volume. 5570 eastbound between 203 and 255 just due to road work. But for the most part, we are in good shape. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
I love talking to Matt Hayes, and he sends me videos occasionally when he's out at a listener's house with something that he's discovered or something that's gone wrong. Sends me a video one day where somebody they actually lived on a slab home where you don't have a basement, so maybe you don't worry about things underneath it as well, but they ended up having a leak in one of their pipes that led to a bunch of erosion. So when the floor was broken open to fix the pipe, there was about a 5-foot hole underneath. It looked like that sinkhole in downtown St. Louis. So he was able to go in and refill that void with his polyurethane material, and it helped them support that floor. They were able to re-pour that part of the floor and get it all fixed up. These are things they can do much more cost effectively than having to hire somebody to come in and tear out all the concrete and re-pour the whole thing. You don't want to have to do that if you can avoid it. Call Matt. Get his opinion on your foundation issues before it happens. If you have a leaky basement, there's more rain coming. Stop suffering through that. Call 314-271-9900. Let Matt, the local owner of this company, come over and take care of you and give you his lifetime warranty on his work. 314-271-9900. Online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit ThrottleNet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
Zero Res wants to help you clean your home. Big summer savings right now. 3 rooms clean starting at $129. Plus take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and ask for the 97.1 special.
Today, the Cards, the D-backs. Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:45. Play ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
The time now is 7:20, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Coming up at 7:35, we're going to have Andy Bakker on talking about Amendment 4.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
Welcome back. We are spending a lot of time right now talking and focusing on the primary here in Missouri coming up on the 4th of August. And the voter guide, somebody asked on social media earlier, will be out by tomorrow, I hope. That's the goal. Just putting the finishing touches on it. And now we're talking about that. And as soon as that's over, guess what? We have to turn right around and look at the midterms. Now, that is a national election that has a lot of implications for control of Congress. Either the Senate, the House, both may be on the line. Right now, we've got J.D. Hayworth with us, a former Arizona congressman. He's been a radio talk show host himself through the years. And great to have you back, J.D. How are you?
Hey, Mark, it's wonderful to be on with you this morning. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's a lot of focus here on the primaries I mentioned. This midterm, it's got a lot of people nervous because, you know, gas prices aren't where they should be. Democrats are using this affordability argument. What's your take on it?
Well, there is a chance, and this is pretty wild, but amidst all the polarization, there is a wonderful opportunity, imagine this, Mark, for Congress, for the House and Senate to do the right thing on this whole affordability question. And really, it's gone from gas down to prescription drugs, where it has been a mainstay for years and years and years. You take a look at the polling numbers, and Republicans, Democrats, independents, heck, libertarians, vegetarians. They're all on the same page. They're saying that big pharma is the main culprit for raising healthcare prices. Our polling shows close to 94% of people are saying that's where the problem is. And you take a look at the Missouri delegation with Congressman Smith, the powerful chairman of my old Ways and Means Committee, and two outstanding senators. I believe that really Capitol Hill can do the right thing to codify what President Trump has done with most favored nation status, which is so Trumpian because he flipped the script, Mark. It used to be when I was on Ways and Means, we'd be conferring most favored nation status on like the Chi-Coms, which, by the way, I voted against.
Thank you.
But I was only a handful of us did that. Even Charlie Rangel came down as a Korean War vet talking about we got to get past that. Yeah, right.
That's a good imitation of him, yeah.
Well, thanks. A celebrity voice impersonated. And gosh, I'm not impersonating an ex-congressman because I are one.
Yes.
But, go ahead, sir.
Well, so what about we hear TrumpRx.com. I played a bite yesterday from a pharmacist down in Texas somewhere saying, listen, here's the problem, and I've said it for years. We don't have a healthcare crisis. We have a healthcare insurance crisis because these big pharma knows that when you go to the hospital, you get way overcharged for your bill. Your insurance company is willing to pay it. But in reality, he's able to sell somebody a prescription for $18 that the health insurance company claims they charge $2,500 for. How do we get around that?
Well, it is one of the huge aspects of this, but I think the important thing is what's the old job I hate to say about my party mascot? How do you eat an elephant? Well, one bite at a time. The most important thing now is to deal with the structure and the pricing of prescription drugs. And yes, you mentioned insurance, and we could destroy the format of the show and spend all day talking about government involvement in healthcare. But Mark, this is not where government is trying to overregulate. This is not a market aberrance when it comes to big pharma. These are decisions. For example, last year, the president brings in a lot of big pharma companies. They say, yeah, we agree with your executive order. We moved the calendar year, now in 2006, close to 1,000 prescription prices have increased, and that's why the American people want relief. Moreover, you take a look, and I'm no class warfare guy, and I certainly believe in the profit margin. Heck, the president's a billionaire. He believes in profits, but not in profiteering. You take a look at the corporate suites of these big pharma companies. Some of these raises are just astronomical. A combined $157.8 million in 2025. That's a 24% increase. And look. The fact is the American people need the savings. And this goes in also to the advertising we see. Look, I'm a First Amendment guy, but free speech ain't free when you and I are paying for it. And the fact is some of these exorbitant prices go to feed the whole notion of these prescription drug ads where you got people going in ordering their doctor, hey, give me this because I saw it on TV. That ain't right either.
I agree with what you're saying, but admittedly, I just don't have a lot of hope when it comes to this idea that we'll be able to actually significantly be able to move the needle. Do you feel like in our lifetime, we'll be able to see a drastic improvement to the healthcare system?
Oh, Kim, we have to. And especially this is the time where it has to happen. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. In my first term in Congress, Bill Clinton, getting some heat from the missus, didn't want to sign the welfare reform bill. But then Dick Morris went to him and said, wait a minute, Mr. President, this is popular. 3 strikes and you're out. We sent it back to him, and he came out saying, well, they got some tough new safeguards. It was the same bill, but he understood he had to sign it. In a similar way, now the shoe is on the other foot. The president has a most favored nation status thing that actually puts Americans as the most favored nation and says to the rest of the world, we're going to quit subsidizing it for you, and we should not be paying more than other wealthy countries pay. And by the way, on average, we're paying 3 times as much.
Right.
So this issue is ripe for the taking. And I think you're going to see the guys in Congress go, wait a minute. We got to get something done. And despite the presence of the big pharma lobbyist on K Street, we got to listen to the people at home. And if they fail to do this, especially the Republican majorities, it'll be bad news. Our polling shows 70+% of people want candidates for Congress and for the Senate who are perceived standing up to big pharma.
Well, let's hope so. J.D. Hayworth, the former congressman from Arizona, sir, we appreciate your time. We'll get you on here again.
Hey, Mark, your listeners can find out more at the website pharmareformalliance.com.
Outstanding. J.D. Hayworth, thank you. We'll be back in just a minute with Andy Bakker on Amendment 4.
Hi, Sandy. What's that?
I'm reading up on this Amendment 4 on the August ballot.
What's 4?
Amendment 4 absurdly creates a new un-American minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that we citizens put on the ballot.
Don't they say it'll protect conservative ideas?
Truth gets in the way of their story. Amendment 4 would mean as few as 5% of the most liberal statewide voters in one congressional district could veto any good conservative idea or reform, even when a big majority supports it.
That does sound un-American. How did that get on the ballot?
The politicians put it there, and it would empower a small minority of liberals. They could stop funding for police, stop tax cuts, or any other common-sense conservative policy we support.
Only 5%? One district? That would make it nearly impossible to pass needed reforms or rein in politicians.
Yep, Amendment 4 is a misguided power grab by politicians. I'm voting no on Amendment 4.
Right. I'm not giving up my constitutional rights. It's a hard no on 4.
Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
Hey, time to talk a little bit about your yard again and what you're doing with your shrubs, your trees, all that stuff. It's your little piece of the earth. You need to take good care of it. But let's face it, most of us don't really understand. I know there are apps and stuff out there. You can look at shrubs and it tells you what it is. And you need an arborist. You need a human being that, like the ones they have at Hanson's Tree Service, to come to your house and tell you things about maybe your blighted evergreen that you didn't know because it got too much water the last 2 years and then not enough this year, or vice versa. Whatever it is, they're seeing a lot of problems with the evergreens right now. If you need yours looked at, if you got another tree that's having problems, let an expert from Hanson's Tree Service come out. They can get you on the course of correction. If you need a tree removed, of course, they can handle that as well. 636-379-1830. Get you to Chad Hanson and the crew out there, or go on to hansonstree.com.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Let's see. Traffic has not been bad today, but there have been a few issues, one of which was an accident on southbound 170 south of the Forest Park Parkway. It started in the left lane. They've been trying to get that off to the right shoulder. And we also had, now this one was on 70. It's just a slow spot eastbound, really close to the airport. They're saying it's just past Woodson, and road work may be an issue there. Other than that, it's the usual volume. Westbound 6440 lining up approaching Clayton Skinker out through the inner belt. We've got northbound 170 with moderate volume now north of 44 up through Manchester. Some volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge, and an accident reported westbound 64 at the 70 split. Also 5570 eastbound slowing on either side of 111. That due to road work. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I am a big fan of Rhino Shield. You know that because I used to have it on my house. So when I talk to you about it, I speak about it from a position of experience. I had it on my house for 17 years. I was proud of that. It was a good decision, and I was just about to put some vinyl siding on the house. And my friend Darren came along and said, Oh, you don't want to do that. It's going to change the look of the outside of your home completely. If that's what attracted you to it to begin with, look at Rhino Shield. He said, I'll put this on here. We'll put 2 to 3 coats on. It'll take the better part of a week. My crew will, if there's any fix-up that needs to be done ahead of time, and then they coat it with Rhino Shield, and then it's covered with this coating that's like a ceramic shield on your house. Same bright, vivid colors. It holds its color. It's waterproof. It rejects the sun's rays. Those are all things that just tear regular paint up. It's thin. It's watery. This is nothing like Rhino Shield. Rhino Shield is tough. It's as tough as nails, and it's beautifully durable. So before you make a decision like that, let Darren come out and give you that free evaluation. It's that simple. He'll show you before and after pictures, show you how these paint jobs just pop when you look at them. It just attracts your attention because it's so beautiful. 877-25-RHINO or online anytime. Tell them Mark sent you, 877-25rhino.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
It's not your typical game day look. Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals face the Miami Marlins, and fans can receive a soccer-style Cardinals jersey presented by Purina. Clean, sporty, and unmistakably Cardinals, it brings a fresh energy to the ballpark from first pitch on, and kids take home a vibrant Cardinals soccer ball to keep the action going long after the final out. 2 ways to play, one big Sunday. Get tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Every Sunday home game is a Kids Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fred Birding games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family-favorite activities. Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/KidsSunday.
Built in the heartland, for the heartland. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's no wonder special interests are trying to make Amendment 4 disappear, using activist judges to keep voters in the dark. They don't want you to know that Amendment 4 bans foreign interests from interfering in our electoral process, prosecutes anyone who tries to commit election fraud, and mandates voters see the full ballot language. Keep special interests and foreign governments out of Missouri elections. Vote yes on Amendment 4.
Finally. I love that ad being put out, of course, by the friends at Protect Missouri Voters, speaking some common sense about Amendment 4. I'm so tired of listening to the ad that has been bought and paid for, and it's airing on this radio station, and I assume others right now, trying to suggest that somehow that it's anti-conservative to pass initiative petition reform. Goodness sake, what's the world coming to? We've got Andy Bakker on the phone right now. He's a spokesman for Protect Missouri Voters. And Andy, welcome in. How are you?
Doing great, Mark. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, you guys, they're throwing everything at this, the opponents of this. Millions of dollars are being spent in national ad buys to lie to people about Amendment 4.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And that's the issue that we're responding to in this ad. The basic message is people deserve to know what they're voting on.
Well, and what are they voting on? Because, I've been talking about initiative petition reform for years. I've seen it fail repeatedly in the Missouri legislature. It's gone through several different forms including just raising the threshold or making it 6 out of the 8 congressional districts. In this case, Amendment 4 would require 50% plus 1 in all 8 congressional districts. So maybe kind of explain to people what they're voting on here.
Yeah, absolutely. So Amendment 4 does a few things. The first one, like you mentioned, is changing the threshold for amending our state constitution. By requiring a majority in each of the 8 congressional districts, what it really does is ensures that changes to our constitution have support from all across the state, not just a couple of urban centers, maybe a couple of college towns thrown in there. Really, if a change is going in our constitution, it should be something that everyone across the state can agree on.
Have you been
Other things that have been... Go for it.
I was just going to say, have you been talking to people to see, is there a lot of misunderstanding with this? Because you do have these ads out that are making it very deceiving for even conservatives.
Yeah, so I think the ads are misleading to conservatives. And the only thing that you have to do is first look at the history. In the last 10 years, there have been 8 constitutional amendments passed by citizen initiative. 4 of those were liberal coalitions. We passed a campaign contribution limit, Clean Missouri, Medicaid expansion, unregulated abortion. The other ones that have passed are industry campaigns. That includes 2 different marijuana amendments, sports betting, and also this tax carve-out for services in 2016 that you're going to hear a lot about. And the reason you're going to hear a lot about that one is it's the only one that could be plausibly spun as conservative. What it really was a campaign backed by industry. It was the realtors pushing a tax break for themselves. Because the realtors are the ones who passed it, they're going to use that as the hook to try to get conservatives on Amendment 4. So it's a misleading ad campaign. All you have to do is look at the history. And I don't think anybody should be moved by these hypotheticals that they're putting out there.
Well, I hope not. And my argument's long been it should be hard to amend the Missouri Constitution. Why do we think it's okay? Why do people who oppose this not realize that Missouri has kind of been the whipping boy of the country when it comes to this? People know that they threw a few $1 million at a misleading signature campaign, and then they threw a few more $1 million at a misleading ad campaign, and they can pass just about anything in the state of Missouri. And that it shouldn't be that way. My argument is it should be more difficult, whether it's a conservative issue or a liberal issue. You should get buy-in from more than the population centers in the state of Missouri if you're going to amend the Constitution.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. People need to be involved in the process. The other thing that I would mention as we're talking about both the history of the initiative petition process, these hypotheticals that are coming up in the future, one thing that is not hypothetical is that right now the Secretary of State is reviewing the signatures on a left-wing initiative petition campaign from a group called Respect Mo Voters. These are the same people who were behind Clean Missouri. What this initiative would do is basically lock this current situation into place. It would protect the structural advantages for liberals and special interest campaigns, and then it would make it almost impossible to fix them after the fact in the legislature. It would require an 80% majority in Jefferson City if we wanted to roll back anything that got passed through citizen initiative. And conveniently, Democrats hold about 30% in each house in Jefferson City.
Yeah.
So if we pass Amendment 4 in August, that initiative petition, should it make the ballot, would have to pass with the higher thresholds. It would have to pass in each of the districts instead of a statewide.
It's a great point. We're talking to Andy Bakker, a spokesman for Protect Missouri Voters. I talked about this back in Back in March, I went to a parade down in Defiance, Missouri, and I get approached by somebody who's got a petition. Well, it's those folks, the petitions that are being considered right now. And I called her out for lying to me. They claimed it was about clean ballot language is what they were telling people it was about. And I'm like, that's not what this petition's about. This petition is about preventing anybody from ever stopping initiative petitions from being purchased in the state of Missouri. And she was all in denial. And, I'm like, well, show it to me. Well, one of them didn't even have a copy of it, which is required by law. And I tried to go on this program and warn people. They were at events all over Missouri. They're getting paid to be there. And they were lying to people to gather these signatures. In my opinion, hopefully that's something that can be addressed as well at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Amendment 4 actually addresses that problem in a couple of different ways. First, it requires that everybody gets to see the full text of the amendment with their ballot. Instead of voting on a couple of bullet points, you get to see the full text. The other thing that I would say, and this is covered in the ad, is Amendment 4 allows the Attorney General to prosecute for petition fraud. Right now, that has to be prosecuted at the county level. And the places where a lot of this fraud happens have prosecutors that don't want to prosecute. I live here in Jackson County. Y'all know it in the St. Louis area. Our prosecutor here in Jackson County said that she would not prosecute anyone who signed the MAP petition, the People's Not Politicians petition, more than once. Official press release, she's not going to prosecute them. So Amendment 4 gives the Attorney General the opportunity to do that.
I love that. And I would point out to people listening this morning that if you need to know anything more about Jackson County, that's also where Claire McCaskill used to be the prosecuting attorney. Am I correct?
You are correct.
I thought so. Yeah, just so you know what you're dealing with there, for sure. Well, here's what, again, the problem we've always faced in trying to fight this and in trying to fight for Amendment 5 is that the other side has a ton of money they're throwing at it, and I worry that our side has not done that yet. I was encouraged that you guys put this new ad out. Are there any plans to start running it on local stations so it can get more ears on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Our goal is to get more ears on it. Exactly where that goes, we will see. We are going to get outspent in this campaign, but Amendment 4 has some really common sense issues that people can agree with, that people, when they see the ballot language, will be able to agree with. So, we don't have to match them dollar for dollar. We just have to get the message out there. I really appreciate everything that you guys are doing on your show and your station to get the message out there. We just got to keep talking to people and make sure our conservative coalition shows up.
Yeah, we will keep it up on this end. I can tell you that. Where can people go to find out more about Amendment 4, Andy?
Protect Mo Voters on Facebook is the best place to go. You'll see the ad right there on top, too.
Outstanding. Andy, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's important to reiterate this. Let's just assume for a moment, because it's so easy to amend the Missouri Constitution. What do you think would be a very populist issue, Kim? Let's say, for example, some Democrat socialist group came up with the idea, you know what, we should put a cap on what you can charge for your home. And there would be people out there who, maybe these same young people that elected the socialists in New York, that would say, oh, that's a great idea. Let's stick it to these people that bought their homes 30 years ago and they've appreciated in value, and we can never afford to buy those. Mm-hmm. We should vote on putting a cap on what you can charge for your home in the state of Missouri. And they circulate petitions and they get enough signatures to get it on the ballot. And some, George Soros character comes in and spends $5 million running ads saying you too can get a house for $200,000 because we're going to cap home prices at $200,000. And the next thing you know, there will be court challenges. This thing goes on the ballot, and all of these young people who don't care about what you invested in your home, they go out and they vote for it. Yeah. Suddenly it's in the Missouri Constitution. That's how easy it is to get something in the Missouri Constitution right now. Amendment 4 would raise the threshold to say you can go ahead gather your signatures and put it on the ballot. But guess what? You will have to get buy-in in every congressional district in the state, not just St. Louis County, not just Jackson County, not just Springfield and maybe Columbia. You have got to get buy-in all around the state so that we know there's at least some bipartisan support for what it is you're trying to do. And that's what the left hates. They don't want that. These are all left of center people who want to do an end run around the Missouri legislature because they don't like the fact that for now, Republicans control the legislature. They didn't in the 90s. The Democrats control the legislature. That could go back the other way at some point. This is a common sense safeguard to keep people from sticking ridiculous things in the Missouri Constitution. So I beg you to vote yes on 4, and hopefully my voter guide will be out tomorrow. Kim, what are we talking about on Kim on a Whim?
Well, U.S. Senator wants to raise the federal minimum wage, and I'm telling you, stick around because you have to hear how high he thinks it should be.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got some volume out there. Crews have been dealing with an accident on southbound 170, south of the Forest Park Parkway in the left lanes. They've been working to get that off to the right side, but a jam behind it. Eastbound 70, a little slow. Pardon me, past the airport. We've got southbound 270 with mostly moderate volume from Page down through Ladue Road. Northbound slow pockets 21 on up through the Clayton Road overpass. There's some traffic westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge and northbound 255 as you head for Horseshoe Lake Road. Some road work there. Eastbound 64, some moderate volume in Timberlake Manor. And other than that, we're okay. 55 is in good shape at this hour. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I mentioned being proud of your home earlier, and that can be because you're landscaping. It can be because of your new roof you got on your house. Maybe you got it repainted with Rhino Shield. Another way to be proud of it is when it's slick and clean on the inside. To do that, you need my friends at Zero Res. Let me tell you the difference. You can hire anybody to come and steam clean your carpet, and what you get is wet carpet for a couple of days that it's like the biggest air filter in your house. And while it's wet, it attracts more dirt and dust. Zero Res doesn't do any of that, right? They come in, they zero resify it, they don't put harsh chemicals on it, they don't leave any residue behind when they do their cleaning. They get it clean, plus they can zero resify just about anything. Your tile, your hardwood, obviously your upholstery and area rugs because they do carpeting as well, and they can do your air ducts. And right now they're offering you 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Plus, if you want those air ducts done, those are the lungs of your house, you get another $100 off. Call them up, tell them you heard Marc Cox bragging about it, tell them you want the 97.1 special, 314-474-2020. That's 474-2020 or ZeroResSTL.com.
2026 is an election year, and 97.1 FM Talk will be your home for every twist and turn in the 2026 midterms. 97.1 FM Talk. Keep it here for radio coverage that's 25 years strong.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
A common question I receive is, how is the market right now? It just seems so volatile. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. If you want to buy or sell but feel overwhelmed by the whiplash of the market, then let's talk. With over 23 years as a broker, I have the exact experience you need to help you navigate this tricky market. Call me at 314-441-4444. 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is St. Louis conservative. Kim on a Whim.
How would you like $25 an hour for minimum wage? Does that sound good to you? Yeah.
How about 50? Barbara Lee out in California said she wanted a $50 minimum wage in California because of the cost of living.
Yeah, why stop at 25?
Yeah, why stop at 20? Let's make it 100.
Being cheap. Well, Senator Chris Murphy is planning to introduce a bill today that would raise the federal minimum wage to $25 an hour. This is called the Living Wage for All Act, and there's already been a similar bill that was introduced in the House, I want to say back in April. And don't worry, Mark, he is giving some businesses, particularly the smaller employees, time if this were to ever happen, which there's no way that people would ever, they should never vote for this. Ever. This is crazy. But basically it says the bill would incrementally increase the minimum wage from its current rate of $7.25, with the first jump to $12 an hour in the first year. Major corporations would have 6 years to work up to the $25 an hour minimum wage, while the smaller employers would have a 13-year runway. Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Woo!
Thank good.
That
Thank
scared
goodness.
me there for a second.
Because you'll need to make $25 an hour because that's how much a hamburger will cost you.
Yeah, and then no one will have a job because the companies will have to shut down, or they'll have to fire them and have robots making your burger to keep costs down.
Hey, White Castle does that.
So would you, that's true. Would you rather have a job and make $7.25 an hour, or would you rather have no job and make $0 an hour?
Most of them pay above that anyway, but it's for a zero-skilled job. You don't deserve 20. Those are starter jobs. They're not designed to support a family of 4 or a family of 2. That's not what minimum wage jobs are designed for.
Earning $25 an hour equates to an annual salary of $52,000 before taxes.
Yeah.
So you think flipping the burger at McDonald's should give you a $52,000 salary? No. It's so funny because this article talks about how nearly half of the American workforce makes less than $25 an hour. Well, you know what? Get some training. I understand that there are people who have more opportunities to go to the better schools. I'm not denying that. But don't come crying to me if you stay in a job and you don't do anything to improve your skill set. If you don't work hard to find a different job that's going to pay better. If you're happy with flipping burgers for the rest of your life, flip them all you want. You go. Fine. But don't expect us to fork over $25 an hour for you to do that job.
This is the problem with the populists, and the Democrats take this. Who's is it? Murphy, Chris Murphy.
Chris Murphy. Yeah.
He makes $200,000 a year. It doesn't affect him. He doesn't care. All he cares about is luring one more person who thinks they're going to get something free from the government, and then they'll vote the way he wants them to vote. It's all about a payout. It always has been for the Democrats and the left, and it always will be. All the social programs, everything, the New Deal, the Great Society, all of this garbage was designed not to help anyone, but to lure them into voting for your party so you could implement your evil ideas. That's just convinced that it's always what their motivation is.
It's not helping
Murphy
them
doesn't
out.
care.
It's a handout. It's a handout. It's a way to buy votes to say, if you support the Democratic Party, this is what you can get. You can have your student loans forgiven. You can have $25 an hour for minimum wage. You don't have to do that much work. You don't have to have any sort of skill set or schooling. And I'm not trying to. I've told you that I don't think you have to go to a 4-year university anymore. A lot of people are going to trade schools, or heck, some people don't even have to go to trade school, and they're raking it in. You have to be driven in many cases, and that's sadly a lot of people are just not driven. They're completely fine sticking their hand in a bag of Cheetos in their parents' basement and playing Call of Duty all day.
Remember Dire Straits, Money for Nothing, Your Chicks for Free. That was a great song, and it fits in this case. This is always what the Democrats want to offer you, money for nothing and your chicks for free. And then all these 20-somethings in New York will vote for it. That's all they care about, is turning out their base and regaining power. It's all about power for them. They could care less about this country and the damage that would do economically to all of us. All right, coming up, we're going to talk to the one and only Shannon Bream. Today is Supreme Court release day number 2 of this week. Nothing super major happened on Tuesday. I mean, they had one sort of big case. There's still a bunch of big ones out there. Birthright, citizenship, all of these that still have to be released. Shannon's going to be over at the Supreme Court at the top of the next hour and we're going to talk to her at about 8:20 on what she's expecting today. Then Nick Schroer is going to join us to talk about Amendment 5, getting rid of the income tax in the state of Missouri. Stay tuned.
Big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
The reason many of us hate insurance companies is because some of them act like bullies. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been dealing with these creatures my whole career. Whether it's a workers' comp claim, an auto accident, or a nursing home or medical mishap, the playbook is often the same: deny and delay. We became the largest injury firm in America for a reason. We fight the bullies. They know who we are, and I know it makes a difference for our clients. Just go to forthepeople.com and see our results and our verdicts after those bullies gave us their final offer. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. It's easy to get going. Visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer, or call us on your cell at Pound Law, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
It wasn't one, it was 2 powerful earthquakes. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, causing a lot of death and destruction in Venezuela.
The search and rescue, you're trying to get to people while you can still save their lives. They're buried under rubble.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. is sending rescue crews and more. At least 164 people were killed, almost 1,000 injured, with more buried in the destruction.
Venezuelan's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, she is warning the death toll expected to climb as emergency crews reach devastated areas and continue pulling victims from collapsed buildings. Now, the powerful 7.2 and 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck just after 6 p.m. yesterday, shaking the capital and surrounding regions.
Fox's Dana Marie McNichol. Back to Secretary Rubio. He spoke in Bahrain after meeting with Gulf leaders.
The president has multiple options at his disposal if Iran goes back on their word or if Iran decides they don't want to make a deal.
And as more nuclear talks loom in the push to prevent Iran from having weapons, Rubio also says,
what we're interested in is whether or not ships are moving. If ships are moving as they should be moving, then that's what we're going to judge and that's what we're going to react to.
He's also hopeful about peace in Lebanon.
Israel's occupying part of the country to keep its citizens safe from Hezbollah attacks. A State Department official claimed in a significant demonstration of good faith, Israeli forces had withdrawn from part of its buffer zone in southern Lebanon. That's been swiftly contradicted by both sides. Israeli officials say there will be no withdrawal.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. We got another report on the economy this morning showing higher prices.
Again, inflated numbers. We're talking about the Iran
conflict. Month over month, a gain of 0.4%. Year over year, 4.1%.
Fox Business Network Cheryl Casoni, that is the biggest annual increase in what are called personal consumption expenditures since April 2023. But oil prices are down again today. Brent is below what it was. WTI almost there before the Iran conflict, though gas at the pump still nearly $1 a gallon higher. America's listening to Fox News.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay. Are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. Can't complain about the start of today. It is 8:03, 68 degrees and sunny. Here's what's making headlines on Thursday, June 25th. In an emergency meeting Wednesday, the St. Louis County Council approved funding to keep 23 nurses at the county jail. This comes less than a day after the Director of Justice Services warned police they could no longer bring prisoners to the jail for medical attention because of the lack of funding. Councilman Mark Harder says, look, this could have been avoided the entire time had the health department just met with the Council Budget Committee to request the extra funding like it's required. A St. Louis County fast food employee is being credited with stopping a man trying to rob the restaurant. The incident happened Monday morning around 11:45 at the KFC there in the 2400 block of Highway 67, that's in Florissant. Police say Taymon Sleet walked up to the KFC manager with a gun, demanded he open the safe. Sleet ran away after getting the money, but didn't get very far. According to investigators, one of the employees there at KFC tackled him in the parking lot, disarming him, while others called 911. St. Charles police will increase patrols today to park where there's rumored to be a teen takeover. A social media post called for that teen takeover at Blanchette Park Aquatic Center from noon until 7, with plans to then move to the park itself. St. Charles police released a statement saying, in part, we encourage parents to assess this gathering carefully and be prepared to pick up their child should disruptive behavior begin or appear likely. In sports, Cardinals lost to the Diamondbacks yesterday 9-4, wrapping up the series tonight at Busch Stadium. First pitch 6:45. That big announcement from the Cardinals yesterday was kind of expected. It was that Bill DeWitt III will officially be taking over as the team's CEO. And finally, for any World Cup fans, Team USA plays Turkey tonight at 9 o'clock. Coming up on 5 minutes after the hour here, 68 degrees downtown. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Hey, some good news in traffic. They have cleared the accident southbound 170 at Forest Park Parkway, or a little south of there. That is gone. And so traffic is thinned out. But eastbound 70 near Natural Bridge, the left lane is down for some road work, and that has caused a delay in that area. Let's see, westbound 64, just some moderate volume now, but it does go from approaching Hampton through 170. We've got northbound 270 with some moderate volume, especially from 44 through Manchester, and southbound 270 slow, headed down toward Ladue Road in the construction zone. On the Illinois side, westbound 55-64, slowing across the Poplar, 64 also slow at 70. And northbound 255 jamming at Horseshoe Lake Road due to road work. We've got road work, too, causing delays on 5570 just east of 111. This report brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they have been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out. They do everything from siding to kitchens and deliver quality craftsmanship and lifetime warranties. Go to lakesiderd.com to start your dream project today. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Unsettled weather, and the main features will be heavy downpours of rain at times and the possibility of some flash flooding. This is kind of a long-lasting rain event. A mix of clouds and sunshine today with scattered showers and thunderstorms, 86. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight, 69. Scattered showers and thunderstorms Friday, 83. Still showers and thunderstorms around Friday night and into Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
68 degrees now downtown at the Arch. 8:07 is the time. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show anytime or from anywhere on our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
Today,
The Cards, the D-backs.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:45.
Play ball!
Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Glad you're with us on a Thursday. It's the Marc Cox Morning Show. Final hour here. I'm Mark. That's Kim. Ethan sitting over here. And, of course, Sue Thomas with all of your traffic. We are trying to get it all covered for you this morning. The Secretary of State's been over having a news conference in Bahrain where he's trying to work out these difficulties between Israel and Lebanon, right, and Hezbollah, where the just like in Gaza and Hamas, the terrorists run free, right, and they've got to figure this out before they're going to be able to get this whole thing straightened out over there, because there's no way Israel's going to allow these terrorists to keep attacking them. And we're trying to keep an eye on that one this morning. That's kind of what's been going on. And also, we've, of course, got the elections coming up. We've been talking about that. It's already okay to go absentee vote if you've got an excuse in Missouri, and then open voting pretty much happens in about a month on July 21st. So some big issues happening, and we've been trying to cover those for you this morning. Last hour, we talked to the folks that are in favor of Amendment 4, and I said to Kim, I want to go over and beat my head against the wall here, because I've been trying to explain for the entire week that, we are a commercial radio station. And as much as my listeners would love to believe that I can influence what happens over in the sales department, I can't, right? I don't have any veto power over what ads we air and what ads we don't, because, boy, if I did, would things sound different. There's a couple of ads that just drive me nuts. But anyway, their point over there is to make cash, and there are rules during a political season that if a candidate wants to run an ad on your radio station, they can afford to pay the rates and they want to buy the ad, then unless you can somehow take them to court or something and argue that it's obscene, or so, you just about can't stop it. So anyway, there's an ad running that is against Amendment 4. I think it's a very deceptive ad. There's now one running that's against Amendment 5, equally deceptive, trying to lead you to believe that, these fat cat politicians are just getting paid by their fat cat donors to get rid of the Missouri income tax so they can raise all your other taxes. I mean, we're a red state, for goodness sake. We're not out there trying to raise your taxes all the time. That's not what's going on here. So I've tried to explain that I don't have any control over these ads. I'm trying to explain the truth of these issues. I've got my voter guide coming out this week, which will explain a little more in depth on each one of these issues. Now, there's only one day left in the week. My goal is to have this published by tomorrow. Kim and I have been tweaking a few things here this morning as I've been working on it. But of course, I get this comment earlier from Steve or Jennifer. They share a Facebook page. I don't know which one put this up there. I am a little confused. Mark is recommending a yes vote on 4, but your radio station is running commercials that say no to 4. Well, that's not an endorsement by the radio station. Somebody's paying to run that ad, and I don't have any control over it. What I'm explaining to you is that ad is wrong. They're misleading people intentionally, leading you to believe that somehow voting for Amendment 4 works against conservatives, which nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. The initiative petition process is abused in Missouri. We know that. When you can buy your way onto the ballot and you can buy your way into the Constitution, that's abuse. And we're one of the few states in the country where you can do that, and the big left-wing organizations take full advantage of it as a way to do an end run around a Republican supermajority in Jeff City. Why the hell would we not make that harder? So that's my point.
You have a lot of feelings
soapbox.
about these
I
ads.
do.
And I get it. I get it because it is deceiving, and it. I hate to say this, but to their credit, it's a good ad in the sense that it's convincing for people and conservatives. So you really have to know what is included in these amendments, and I think that's really what your voter guide's going to help with, and it makes it very clear. Hey, vote yes on this. I suggest you vote no on that.
Yeah. Well, I'll be posting that tomorrow with any luck. So just stay tuned for that, and we'll get into more details on Amendment 5, by the way. That's the Missouri income tax. Are you confused about it? You probably are. You shouldn't be. It's pretty simple. If you can stop the government from reaching into your wallet each April against your will, why wouldn't you? And then when that tax gets replaced with a sales tax of some sort, you pick and choose what goods and services you buy, as opposed to the government making your purchasing decisions for you. So there you have it. That's my take on that. We're going to talk to Nick Schroer, one of the Missouri state senators who helped get that on the ballot, coming up at about 8:35. Shannon Bream coming up in just a minute. Right now, Ethan, let's go ahead and get to the top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
If we don't do something with the filibuster and we don't get things passed, it'll be the last time we'll have a Republican president or a Republican Senate or a House. That's how fast this country is going down to communism, and we need to stop it. We can stop it. It's balls in our court. President Trump said that, balls in your court. I'm here to support you. Let me know if there's anything I can do. But this is what we have to do to save the United States of America from communism. He's exactly right.
Yep, Tommy Tuberville, the senator, he was in that hearing, the meeting yesterday, I should say, with the Republican senators and the president, where things got a little heated. You know why? Because President Trump, who doesn't hold his feelings back, called out Bill Cassidy, who he whipped at the primary polls a couple of weeks ago, for voting against the War Powers Act, while we're in the middle of negotiating with our enemy. It was just nonsense, and I'm glad the president called him out on it.
A lot of people rely on the fraud. A lot of these politicians rely on the fraud. That's why they want to pass a bill, aka the Stop Nick Shirley Act, to make it so that the fraud can continue because they actually need the fraud.
Yeah, that's Nick Shirley saying, guess what? In California, they're trying to pass a bill to stop me from investigating the fraud, because they apparently, I don't know if they're getting kickbacks on the fraud or what's happening in California, but they don't want Nick Shirley and citizen journalists to be able to go out there and expose them.
They don't even want to name, they want to erase the word black in their attack on DEI. They want to erase the word, and they want to erase black people.
I didn't know the word black was in Didn't Earn It. Did you know that? I didn't realize that. What Ayanna Pressley there, the congresswoman, member of the squad, trying to claim that Republicans are just trying to get rid of DEI because they don't like black people.
The president believes in election integrity. He talks about it all the time, and we do as well. In act and deed, we have stood for that. We passed the Save America Act again. Here's this. Let me finish this. This is very important. That is the top priority, because if you do not have safe elections in this grand experiment in self-governance that we have in a constitutional republic, you don't have anything.
Thank you, Speaker Mike Johnson. Thank you for saying that. It needed to be said. It's true. It's what Tommy Tuberville was saying. He's like, we can do it. There's just no will to do it. And the president apparently called out John Thune in this meeting as well and said, hey, I'm not signing this housing bill till you give me the Save America Act. We need to certify the integrity of American elections. And if you don't want to show me your voter rolls, what are you hiding? I heard some liberal judge, some Biden or Obama judge made a decision saying the president couldn't have access to people's Social Security numbers. Do you think the moron realizes that the federal government issued the Social Security number
wouldn't they know?
to begin with?
You call a place and they always ask for the last four of your social. You
Thank
enter
you.
that in all the time. What do they want? 2 more of the digits?
We've got judges out of control in this country. Speaking of which, there's 9 of them that sit on the Supreme Court. They're going to be releasing more decisions today. We'll check in with our friend Shannon Bream in just a minute.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
A little bit of road work on eastbound 70 near Natural Bridge in the left lane and a delay there. And southbound 170, a little slow at 64. Now, eastbound 64 is slow on either side of 170, just moderate volume. Northbound 270, some moderate volume from Big Bend up through the Clayton Road overpass. Southbound is slowing, and that's mainly at Ladue Road in the construction zone. We're now pretty quiet on the Poplar Street Bridge, but northbound 255 is slowing north of 5570 due to road work, and eastbound 5570 slow around 111 for the same reason. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let's talk about making your house better. I've talked about that a lot this morning with different services and companies that I work with, and Chesterfield Fence and Deck is one of them. They've helped me out in the past repairing my fence at my other house before we moved, and it's just what they do. They've been at that for, my goodness, since 1968. They've been doing fences and decks, and now they do so much more. But if you're looking for a new fence, you're looking to upgrade that deck or replace deck boards with something that's more maintenance-free, you should let them come over. The visit is free. If you need something designed, it's free. The project design is free. And right now, you can get 20% off the bottom line because you mentioned my name. Just tell them, hey, Marc Cox told me to call, told me I could get 20% off. When can you come out and take a look at my backyard? They have a beautiful photo gallery, digital photo gallery of other jobs they've done, depending on what you're looking for. And they can show you that, and maybe it gives you some inspiration. Get it done now, and you can enjoy it this summer. Why not? Why wouldn't you not do that? You can visit their showroom down in Chesterfield Valley, or just go online and check them out. You can look at all their beautiful projects at chesterfieldfence.com.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering from Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Today,
The Cards, the D-backs.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:45. Play ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
The time now is 8:20, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men Medical Center. Nick Schroer is going to be on with Mark and Kim, and they are going to go in depth on Amendment 5. You're going to want to stick around for that. That's going to be at 8:35.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is St. Louis Conservative.
This is not your father's Democratic Party, where everyone wanted a successful America. We just disagreed on how to get there. We now have people coming to Congress whose goal is to destroy America. And I think how we operate as an institution is going to change.
Get up, baby! Get up! There's only one Shannon.
Shannon Bream, host of Fox News Sunday. All right, Shannon, good morning to you. That was Congressman Randy Fine there speaking about the socialist sweep in New York.
Oh, yeah. And it begs so many questions. Listen, New York, Mark, as we know, is one thing, but it's not just there. We have a lot of other places where there are candidates on the ballot who are self-described socialists. This isn't, media terming that. It's them deciding that's the label they want to have. So, listen, it's going to be a fracture within the Democratic Party because after this happened on Tuesday in New York, what did I hear all day yesterday in Washington? I heard from a lot of establishment Democrats, like Senators Blumenthal, Senators Welch saying, hey, listen, we have a big tent, all kinds of different viewpoints, but that's not speaking for the whole Democrat Party, trying to kind of take the edge off of what happened Tuesday.
Yeah, I got to play this for you real quick. This happened yesterday, too. That was the Democrat socialists in New York taunting Hakeem Jeffries. Like, in other words,
right.
he went on and said your point that this doesn't impact the larger Democrat Party, but they think it does.
They certainly do. And again, in a stronghold place for the more liberal, progressive part of the party in New York, that makes sense. But I'm here in Washington, D.C. We just had an election here where the Democrat primary winner for the mayoral race, which is, almost certainly going to be the winner, become the new mayor. Again, another self-described socialist. And the polling that went along with that race showed that a majority of voters here in D.C. favor socialism over capitalism by several points. So there's definitely a votership for this. But across America, I think Republicans feel like a lot of these candidates are going to be great foils for them and give them a lot to point to for the midterms.
I certainly hope so. All right, Shannon, this is a huge day for the Supreme Court. I think a lot of us were anticipating that maybe was it Tuesday that maybe some of these big cases would be dropped, and there really wasn't anything significant. So how many of these, today's what, the last day of the session, unless they were to add anything additional?
Yeah, technically today would have been the last day. We know it's not because they always announce the day before, hey, tomorrow is the final day of the session. So we don't know if that'll be tomorrow, Friday, or Monday, but we are getting opinions at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we're waiting on 12 opinions. We have 7 or 8 of them on our watch list, so they're really teasing us every time they drop these opinions and don't give us birthright citizenship or the cases about trans athletes in women's sports, how many days past Election Day you can count mail-in ballots. There are a lot of biggies, and we'll know in about 40 minutes what we're getting.
Yeah. Sometimes it almost seems produced. I hate to I hate to suggest that, but right, if you're a good TV producer, you know how to promote something to make people want to tune in to watch it. And the Supreme Court does this to us. They tease us and then they wait till the last day of the session. I used to joke that, like, when they dropped the Roe v. Wade decision, maybe it's because they all wanted to be on an airplane on their way to vacation by the time that thing hit the media.
It's highly possible. Listen, unless something changes drastically based on the arguments for birthright citizenship, where, the president was the first sitting president to show up and watch those arguments, I don't think he's going to win unless something radically changed behind closed doors, which could totally happen. But my thought is the last day of the term, they drop that bad boy and leave. They've got teaching assignments in Europe. They've got family trips across America. And frankly, I think at this point, they always need a break from each other. They read from the bench if they want to. When they issue the opinions like they'll do this morning, they read. If the dissent is upset, they're also allowed to read. So I actually think this could take some time. I think that people are going to want to read their dissents. I think there's going to be a lot of kicking each other on the way out the door, potentially, at least on the page, on the written page.
We know that some of these justices have had their lives threatened over these decisions. You talked about Roe v. Wade, and of course that was leaked. But I wonder how big of a concern that is for some of these cases that they're about to drop.
Yeah, and listen, we know that there was that swatting situation just a few weeks ago with Justice Barrett at her house. Now, luckily, they do all have protective details. So, when local law enforcement showed up, they were able to diffuse that situation, but it creates a dangerous situation. And I asked her, when she was out with her book, have you ever reconsidered your decision to turn over your whole life to this job? And she said, no, there are definitely sacrifices, but we burn the ships, essentially. This is a way to serve our country, but they all do it now with protective details, basically 24/7.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're talking to Shannon Bream, host of Fox News Sunday. Are you live? You sound like you're on a mobile. Are you over by the Supreme Court right now?
Sorry, we are out here standing outside the court waiting. So we're live in the field, a little ambient noise out here, and just ready to go.
Is there a crowd, Shannon?
You know what? There is kind of a patchy crowd. Most of it's media right now.
okay.
I think that when we know it's the final day, whether it's tomorrow or Monday or whenever it is, that's when we really get kind of elbow to elbow out here. And then you also know what decisions you're going to get on that final day because you know what's left and you know it's the last day. So the excitement kind of builds through the week, and we'll see if we get some of the big ones off the list today.
So I wonder, have you spotted any green algae up there by the Supreme Court?
You know what? I am standing in a field of clover, essentially, here outside the court. I did walk by one of the smaller kind of reflecting pool fountain areas that we have this morning, and there was a guy in there cleaning it up and making sure it looked good. So I can speak for that one. It was looking good. Tiny one.
I saw Jesse Waters reporting on this the other night, but have they released anything else from the Parks Department suggesting, the Interior Department suggesting that there was vandalism to the reflecting pool?
They have now released these images of somebody that it looks like was doing something, and there are pictures on the edges of the pool that look like they could be slashes, like with a box cutter or a knife. I've got a friend here who is an independent journalist in town, Emily Miller, who was over there every day, and she has been for weeks with the whole sealing and the filling and all of that. So she's gotten some photos that she's got exclusively that do look like slashes of some kind that look like they'd have to be done with some kind of sharp instrument. But Park Service has put out some images saying, if you know this person, we want to talk to them.
I'll bet they have. So you're going to be live over there Sunday previewing the big celebration?
Yeah, we're going to be at the Great American State Fair, the Ferris wheel, which we were just debating about whether or not we're going to actually ride it. We'll get back to you on that. But, man, the food choices, every state's got booths out here. It's going to be really fantastic, taking up the whole National Mall, and we've got a set out there, so we'll be there live Sunday, give you some inside scoop.
Outstanding. We'll be watching, Shannon. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Shannon Bream there, live outside the United States Supreme Court. T-minus 32 minutes, just about, before they release some more big decisions. Nick Schroer coming up on the Missouri income tax cut.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
I was just talking to a friend the other day about retirement, what we are each hoping to do when we retire. They wanted to do some more European travel. I'm kind of hoping to just go see a bunch of the United States, tow my camper, have a good time. However you do that, you got to plan for how you're going to pay for it when you're no longer drawing that regular paycheck. Retirement Advisory Group focuses on that. Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw, you've heard them on the show here. They can sit down with you for free and just show you what they do. Retirement Advisory has been doing it for coming up on 40 years now. You probably have friends or neighbors who are already clients of theirs. They'll sit down with you for free and show you how to protect what you've saved and how to build an income stream once you're retired. It's something you need to at least think about. Listen to what they have to say. Tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it. You want to meet with them. Call them at 314-993-9494 or just go to their website at retirementkey.com.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Apple this morning announced price hikes on MacBook and iPad products. Last week, CEO Tim Cook said price hikes were coming due to surging memory and storage costs. The memory crunch is in the financials of memory makers like Micron, which just reported that revenue in the latest quarter more than quadrupled. The Internal Revenue Service says there are about 500,000 taxpayers who are victims of identity theft. A Congress report says that it currently takes 20 months for the IRS to resolve their cases. Qualcomm has revealed a CPU for data centers called Dragonfly C1000 and said that Meta would use it when it starts production in 2028. The company said the new chip was built for AI and focuses on offering computing performance without using too much power. Futures are moderately higher just ahead of the opening bell. NASDAQ futures have soared more than 2% after Micron's strong earnings. Dow futures up by more than 100 points. NASDAQ futures up by more than 600 points. That's your money now.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads, there was an accident eastbound 70 on the Blanchette Bridge. Watch for that in the right lane. That has caused a delay. And then it's slowing again at Natural Bridge. That's where we've got road work in the left lane. Eastbound 64, some volume, but most of that is just the usual on either side of 170. And westbound lines up near Hampton. And goes on out through Hanley. We've got eastbound Manchester slowing at Baxter Road, and we look pretty good on the bridges downtown. This report is brought to you by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Call them for their 26-point tune-up. It's one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoor.stlewis.com. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right. We know that a lot of people are looking at the real estate market. They're deciding if they're going to stay in their home or if they're going to try to fix it up and sell it. You know, the folks at Golden Oak are loan officers, but they understand the real estate market. They understand the fact that people are looking for great rates. They've lowered their rates. They've got a 4.5% 15-year fixed mortgage right now. If you're looking to refinance and take some cash out, it'd be a great time to talk to them. And they're happy to counsel you on those things. They can help you. They'll tell you. And if they can't, they're going to be honest with you. But listen, if you got a bunch of high interest short-term debt, get rid of that. Take some equity out, refinance at 4.5% for 15 years, and guess what? The average person's saving $1,100 a month. That's big. You get to decide what to do with it. When you refinance, you go a couple of months without a house payment. That is money back in your pocket to spend the way you want to. That 4.5% is a 5.442% annual percentage rate. 15-year FHA loan with 20% equity. Additional terms apply, and, of course, you have to have qualified credit, but it's still a great rate. Reach out to them today. Their NMLS number is 114937.
Hi, Sandy. What's that?
I'm reading up on this Amendment 4 on the August ballot.
What's 4?
Amendment 4 absurdly creates a new un-American minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that we citizens put on the ballot.
Don't they say it'll protect conservative ideas?
Truth gets in the way of their story. Amendment 4 would mean as few as 5% of the most liberal statewide voters in one congressional district could veto any good conservative idea or reform, even when a big majority supports it.
That does sound un-American. How did that get on the ballot?
The politicians put it there, and it would empower a small minority of liberals. They could stop funding for police, stop tax cuts, or any other common sense conservative policy we support.
Only 5%? One district? That would make it nearly impossible to pass needed reforms or rein in politicians.
Yep, Amendment 4 is a misguided power grab by politicians. I'm voting no on Amendment 4.
Right. I'm not giving up my constitutional rights. It's a hard no on 4.
Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Happy birthday, America, in 2026. Get used to hearing the word semi-quincentennial. America 250 on 97.1 FM Talk. Sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Over here beating my head against the wall as we're in the commercial break there. Kim and Ethan were laughing at me. I swear I think they take these ads that I hate and they run them more often in my show.
Yeah,
and
you
I
don't
have
like
any
these
control
ads,
over it.
Mark? We're going to run them even more.
I'll raise the stink again, but I don't think it'll get me
No,
anywhere.
if you raise the stink, they'll put even more
I
on your
know.
show.
That was that false, misleading Amendment 4 ad you heard there in the break. And before long, you'll hear a false, misleading Amendment 5 ad that they've started airing on our station now, too, trying to allege somehow that reducing your property, your income tax is a bad thing. I mean, it's so ridiculous. We've been talking about this for years, and I've invited Missouri State Senator Nick Schroer on this morning to talk a little bit more about this and spread a little bit of common sense. Nick, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, good to have you back. You've heard the ads now, right? They're trying to claim somehow that the big fat cats are trying to they want you to sales taxes to go up because they're benefiting from it somehow. This is just crazy talk.
Yeah, it is crazy when you look at states that have done it the right way, and there are plenty that we can choose from, but the closest one to us is Tennessee. They've got 2 big cities. We've got 2 big cities, and they're going gangbusters. They've done something and have attracted so many people and businesses into Tennessee, and that's what we're trying to do with Amendment 5 is not only get rid of your income tax, but here's a little thing that the court rewrote the ballot summary that you're going to see when you go and vote in August, and they left out conveniently that Amendment 5 is also going to lead to a reduction or termination of your property taxes as well, just like in Tennessee. But look, this is the dark money, the millions of dollars that are coming in from out of state that we've seen year after year that Amendment 4 is going to try to stop, but that's what's flooding the airwaves right now.
What's your argument to people that claim that somehow because how they're going to replace it is intentionally vague, that it's some trick, and your goal is really to raise sales taxes to 20% in Missouri? I've heard people claim that. I mean, it's ludicrous.
Yeah, well, number one, that's never going to happen, and that's one of the reasons I'm running for leadership to be the floor leader in the Missouri Senate is to make sure we're not going to go that route. Look, even Kansas, who did it the wrong way, they didn't do that. They didn't increase taxation. They just didn't cut spending like we should have, like we started doing this year by cutting $4 billion. But look, when you look at the way we're doing this, the reason we're going to the Constitution is we've seen in other states, we've seen in other areas. Heck, we've got a state in the upper northwest that's trying to enact income tax right now. So the reason we're putting it in the Constitution is if you have a future Democrat administration that's trying to enact increased taxation, increased income taxation, once we go to zero, they've got to go back to the people rather than just doing a statutory measure. And when you look at our statutes right now, we've gone from 7% down to 4.7%. with the same mechanism we're trying to put in the Constitution. But once we're at zero, if it's in the Constitution, it stays there. Now we have to come back. We have to be a little bit vague when it comes to rewriting our very outdated and archaic taxation scheme if we're going to go after the following. And this is where my zeroing in wants to go. I want to look at the data centers right now that are going all over the place. There's a lot of fights. Look, if they're going to come here, they're going to get taxed. When you have the businesses that are replacing human beings with AI or drones, like we've seen with Walmart and Amazon, I think there can be some applications of taxation there. The last two are sin taxes that a lot of people aren't focusing on, but in the state of Florida, you've got Ron DeSantis talking about what I've been talking about for a couple of years now. Go after these sick pornographic websites like OnlyFans, where people are making millions of dollars a year and not being taxed on it. And also, we see these video lottery terminals that are everywhere. We can apply that without increasing sales tax anywhere else. cut spending, you're going after the sin taxes, and you can get to zero within the next 5 to 10 years.
Thank you. And, you brought up the example of Tennessee, a state that has done this. Florida has done this. And you look at their sales tax, and it's a really good way to combat some of the concerns here in Missouri. Like Mark said, that they're going to raise it to 20% because Tennessee has a 7% state sales tax. And then I guess when you factor in the local sales tax, it goes to about 9.5%. Florida has a 6% state sales tax. So you look at these examples and you say, look, somehow they have figured this out where they've been able to eliminate the income taxes, but they've not been forcing some astronomical sales tax on people.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling, and this is why I say the party of Chicken Little is taking over the airwaves everywhere, and they're using this out-of-state millions to say the sky is going to fall if we do this, and I'm sick and damn tired of it, and I thank you guys for zeroing in on this. John Lamping, good friend of ours, is trying his best to educate the masses out there, but look at the states that have done it right. Look at the states that we're trying to emulate. Look, Florida was able to get rid of Sharia law before we did, and that was my bill. We were able to get it done by saying, guys, look at Florida. Look at Florida. We're the show-me state. It takes a little bit of time, but we have plenty of examples of where we're able to get rid of not only the income tax, but your property tax as well, and not increase the burden on your pocketbook.
Yeah, it's people they've got to study this. Now, I'm putting my voter guide out probably tomorrow. I'm hoping to get it posted up here. But in it, one of the things I point out, and I won't take credit for doing the math on it, but another organization did, and it's basically the fact that if you make a family of four makes $100,000 a year, and you didn't have income tax anymore, there would be $5,000 more in your budget, which you get to decide how to spend. So their argument is, well, it doesn't matter that you get $5,000 less in taxes. You're going to have to spend that much more in sales taxes. That's not true. You get to decide what you consume. You don't have any say over money taken directly out of your paycheck, Nick.
No, I agree 100%. It's akin to slavery, and the left gets pissed off when I say that. But when I work my butt off, tooth and nail, and all my constituents are working, and before they ever see their money, the government, the state government, and the federal government has already dipped their hands in their pocket and ripped it out, to me, that's akin to slavery, and we have to stop that. Look, 250 years ago, our founders, and I'm going to have an editorial I sent to the Missouri Times to get that posted. I'll share it as well once it's posted. But 250 years ago, our founders were picking up muskets and saying, look, we're going to separate from the biggest superpower in the world because of taxation. Back then, the taxation that we formed this great republic because of was nowhere near to the taxation that we're seeing now. And we need to return to that vision. We got to get back to where our founders believed our nation should have been 250 years ago. Income tax was not the way. Property taxes is not the way. By voting yes on Amendment 5, we can finally start going toward the vision that our founders had 250 years ago by getting rid of not only income tax, but property tax as well.
Well, and I would hope, too, that this switch would also incentivize some people to get off their butts and stop being lazy and work. Because you think about the fact that what did John Lamping say? Like half the people don't even work, so they don't have that income tax. So we're paying that, and then they're reaping the benefits of it.
Well, that's another thing, and I don't know how much time we have, but that ties into Amendment 4 with the initiative petition process. I mean, these out-of-state billionaires who've never stepped foot in St. Charles County or in Florissant, Missouri, or, you pick it in the state of Missouri, they don't know where Boone County is on a map, and they're sending billions of dollars to change our Constitution. They handcuffed us a couple years ago by expanding Obamacare to forcing the legislature to pay Medicaid, to pay for these kids to stay at home in their mom's basement and get free health care for it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we've seen through the years, whether it's gambling, whether it's abortion on demand, trans surgeries on demand, or expanding Obamacare, that we should have been able to fix, and we can this time by voting yes on Amendment 4. But back to Amendment 5, this will make us on the path to becoming the next Tennessee. We're getting crime under control. We still have more to do there. We got to get the airport under control. Education reform needs to come. But taxation, I applaud Governor Kehoe. He ran on this thing, and he's trying to fulfill the promise of getting us to zero on income tax. The cherry on top is that this would actually handcuff the local governments to replace the personal property or real property taxes with what they're going to see as well.
Yeah, it's a good point. All right. Nick, I know you're with your daughters this morning. We appreciate your time, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, God bless y'all. Have a great
Yeah,
week.
we will talk soon. Missouri State Senator Nick Schroer, I think he had one of his daughters at horseback riding lessons this morning. Yeah.
That's cool.
And he told me, yeah, I can do it, but I don't know how my cell phone will be because I'm going to be out here in a rural area. So there you have it. All right. Yeah. Yes on 4, yes on 5. It's just common sense. All of the belly aching and the worry about what they're doing down the road. You live in a state that has a supermajority of Republicans. They're not all the most conservative people in the world, as they've proven before. We'll keep an eye on that. But these are not people that are looking to raise your sales taxes through the roof. That hurts business. These are pro-business people. This is a way of a consumption tax is a more fair tax. It just is. Just like a flat tax is a more fair tax. And the progressives hate it because they would rather be able to control how much they can reach in and take out of your wallet. That's what this is all about. You got to follow the money. They worship at the altar of big government, and they can't stand it when you want to restrict that in some way. So vote yes on Amendment 5, and let's get rid of this Missouri income tax once and for all. All right, quick break. We'll be back after this.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Crews have been dealing with an accident eastbound 70 on the Blanchette Bridge, kind of getting it off to the right shoulder, that sort of thing. A little bit of a delay was there, and also near Natural Bridge, where there's some road work in the left lane. But for the most part, other than that, we're in pretty good shape. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, so, I'm just talking to my daughter about this the other day. When their plumbing problems come up, I've got a little bit of rough knowledge of that, but not enough to actually tear into a wall and fix a leak. So when things get serious, you need to know who to call, whether it's electrical or plumbing. I'm telling you, that's Grasser, now calling itself Grasser Home Services, Grasser Electric for many years, and they donate dog food for every service call, no matter how big or small. 10 pounds of dog food that they go out and they deliver because they love to give back to the community. And now they're giving back in even more ways, because before, if you had an electrical, there was a storm and it tore the electrical service off side of your house, you had to call someone. And I've always recommended Grasser because they're available 24 hours a day. You can book your service right online. Same thing now with their plumbing. If you're having plumbing problems, no job too big or too small. They do commercial as well, and they can get out there and get the pipe repaired, and you're back in business. How about that? Just reach out to them. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. You will love working with my friends at Grasser Electric. It's grasserelectric.com.
We're here to celebrate America's 250th birthday in 2026. This is 97.1 FM Talk. America 250 is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
When you're hurt in a rideshare accident, whether you're the driver or the passenger, the questions come fast. Who's responsible? What's next? At Kaufman Townsley, we understand how complicated rideshare accidents can be. We know the insurance companies, and we know how to hold them accountable. We're local, we're experienced, and we'll fight until you get the justice you deserve. Kaufman Townsley. Real people, real results. Call 314-777-7777.
Zero Res wants to help you clean your home. Big summer savings right now. 3 rooms clean starting at $129. Plus take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and ask for the 97.1 special.
The 2027 models are arriving, and that means huge savings during the 2026 closeout sale at Apache Village RV. Right now, every remaining 2026 RV is priced to sell, including popular models from Jayco, Forest River, and Keystone. Whether you're looking for a travel trailer, fifth wheel, or motorhome, now is your chance to score a great deal before these models are gone. Don't miss your opportunity to save thousands and get road trip ready for your next adventure. The 2026 inventory won't last long. Shop the closeout sale today at both locations in Hazelwood and AVRV in O'Fallon or Apache Village RV.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
All All right, welcome back. Protect Mo Voters, that was the website, right? For Amendment 4 that we talked about earlier. Amendment 5, we're going to be having the voter guide come out. Somebody was asking about it earlier. We'll have the voter guide here before long. So hopefully by tomorrow. That thing's kind of involved. You want to make sure that you're covering all your bases. This is the thing I'll say about it, just pretty succinctly, things that I pointed out before. There are, Kim, dozens of Missouri House races. Some of them are challenged, some of them are not. There is no way that one individual, because I'm the one that puts the list together, could go through each and every one of those and make an informed decision. There's just no way. I don't know all those people. I don't rely on other people for these picks. They're my picks. And so what I've tried to do here is pick the big issues that you're going to see on the ballot, explain them in a way that whether you agree or disagree with me, you can make your own decision on it. I'll tell you how I'm voting and why. And then I'm going to be making some endorsements in some key races. Races where I think it's going to make a huge difference, because at the end of the day, whoever wins this race in the primary will likely be the candidate that wins the general, just because of the area they live in. So I'll be making those tomorrow as well, and I'm sure I'll be getting a little bit of grief for it, but that's okay, because that goes with the territory.
Well, and just even looking at the voter guide, I think it's nice where, it's kind of a one-sheet thing where you can bring it along with you just to make sure you have it when you actually go to vote, because absentee voting, you can already do that. You have to have an excuse right now, but starting, I think, July 21st, I want to say, you can do no excuse absentee voting.
Yep, correct. So we will print something out like that, and then there will be the more in-depth explanation of why I've done what I've done here. They ask, I wanted to get back to this before we ran out of time today. They asked Tommy Tuberville, the senator from Alabama, what he thought about the president's addressing the Save America Act, because he called these senators out yesterday. He went into a meeting with them, and it was a closed-door meeting. Nobody was supposed to record it or anything like that, and he laid it out to them about how important it was. And they asked, Martha McCallum asked Tommy Tuberville about that portion of the meeting yesterday. Listen. Whoops. It appears that I had turned the audio off over here to check something. Here's Tommy Tuberville.
He's not going to take anything out of the Save America Act. What's in there needs to stay. We just talked about the avenues of the talking filibuster, or voting out the regular filibuster and voting it in. Because and President Trump's right here. Again, I travel the country. If we don't do something with the filibuster and we don't get things passed, it'll be the last time we'll have a Republican president or a Republican Senate or a House. That's how fast this country is going down to communism.
Tuberville may be exaggerating a little bit there, but I do think he's right on one thing. Imagine if you were able to clean up the voter rolls in this country. What a difference that would make.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are 10,000, 10 million, 25 million illegals registered to vote, but I suspect the numbers are so much higher than anybody thinks, because of evidence of how easy it is to cheat, how easy it is to lie, because there's no verification at all.
Yeah.
Like if you go to buy a gun and you lie on your Form 4473, it goes to the FBI and they do a little background check, and they can tell pretty quickly if you've lied about it.
Right.
That's all we're asking for with the voting. Is that your name is run through a database with your Social Security number, just like E-Verify, to confirm that you are a citizen of the United States of America and you're eligible to vote.
Yep.
And if you're not, your name gets thrown off. How is that, and here's Kim's favorite word, how is that disenfranchising anyone?
The word of the year.
It is. But how does that disenfranchise someone?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be voting to begin with.
John Thune has been a big disappointment, and Trump's to a degree, Trump has kind of hit on that. Don't you think? Just talking about him not advocating enough for the Save America Act. And I was looking up, what would it take to oust him? And obviously we as voters can't do that, but the Senate could. And it says that it's highly unlikely to happen, but it's not impossible. It would require, a 2/3 vote from the Senate in order to oust him.
I thought it only took 5 members to bring it to the floor, though.
But then it would require,
Well,
2/3 of a
the
vote?
Democrats might vote against him. Who knows? You never know. They would never do anything they thought might help someone on the other side. That's for sure. All right, stay tuned. We mentioned the Supreme Court earlier. If you listen to the Shannon Bream interview, she's live standing out there waiting for these decisions to come out, whatever they're going to be. So there's going to be massive coverage of this. Kilmeade will have it here on the radio. I'm sure Annie and Mark will carry it if there's any local impact later in the day for sure. And Kim and Ethan and Sue and I'll see you back here on Friday morning at 5. Well, wait a minute. Ethan's shaking his head.
He's ditching us.
He's ditching us tomorrow. Drew will be in here in the morning. We'll see you at 5 a.m.